same bat time, same bat channel. Get him, big kahunas.
Let's go, my guy.
Sir.
You cannot stop this market. You can only hope to contain it. Oh, it still says OB. What? Oh, yeah, Ramin just reminded me that it's not. It's we're back. And Bitcoin all-time high.
Yes.
Well,
I don't know, 94,000, what's the difference?
Yes, not whatever, all-time high. It's like every single tick at this point, it's like it makes an all-time high, it pulls back a little bit. It makes an all-time high, it pulls back a little bit. So, like, it is what it is. Bitcoin all-time high. The markets have rebounded from what was a hefty sell most of the morning. The early market, pre-market, overnight was a sell. The ES went green, obviously. The NASDAQ has gone green and continue to go higher and higher. There was a point in the midday, which I think sums up the day perfectly. Sharif's like, and such and such, I think he started with Google.
Yep.
Mag 7 name Google is super strong. And then Meta and Nvidia and Tesla, and then literally just all of them. That's the best way to think about it. Microsoft, just right down the board. All of them are very strong. It's been one heck of a bullish kind of day today, unless your name is Intel.
Oh no, is that down?
Actually, that's not true, because if you look, there's definitely some names in the healthcare space that have gotten beaten down. Like Moderna's having a really bad day. But yeah, big day today. Obviously, the market's resilient.
Yeah, no, it's a resilient day for sure. Palantir's actually up now. It was down before today, and it was all the way down here at 59. We tried to go short. That worked, and then it did, and then we went long, which is good. We broke the log 362, broke it upside, and been trying to hold out for this long, trying to defend 61.50. I mean, it's 61.70 is the 200 period right now on Palantir, trying to hold out for a higher take right now. We already know that's going to be, there's going to be Nvidia on people's minds. I mean, what a great trade that was today. Oh my. Yeah, that's great. 140. So we thought we were doing pretty good getting out up here at 144.50. We got out once it broke the 50 period at the time. It was about noon, and now you're ripping to 140. What does Tesla even do? I mean, now Palantir's starting to go a little bit. Tesla 344. Yeah, Bitcoin making the move down. So again, it's funny because we'll be down like small amounts on all of these shorting opportunities that we had. We had a good pullback into the 50 period before eventually it broke higher through 53. So that's IBIT up 2 and a bit right now in crypto right now. Huge move. 93.3 coming into play. Okay, back to 99 here on Palantir. I don't have any offers out, so I should start doing it. All the offers kept on getting hit here. So we'll just continue to do what we're doing. Trading, hopefully a little bit conservative here in the afternoon. But if there's a move that's going to happen, I mean, the NASDAQ's up 0.72. A lot of these names starting to break out. Apple, Google, so on and so forth. So I know Amazon didn't Amazon have a huge move? Isn't that 206?
Monster.
Yeah, 205 and change. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty big move, man. Up $5, and now maybe he's starting to retrace a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if the market wants to continue. 0.7. I mean, we thought the NASDAQ was down yesterday. I mean, it looks like it's right back in today. So far, so good here for all these bulls, as looks like buying the dip will continue to work, right? I mean, at 20,400, stopped on a dime right here on the NASDAQ. Shout out to eSignal again for these charts. But right there, that was the short that we thought was going to continue early this morning, which sort of started me off a little sour when that came into play. But now you're right back, like you're almost halfway back to that top again. So I don't, there's really no clear-cut shorting opportunities, at least until 20,850, I feel like, on the futures. And then upside is that 21 again. So there's that level. We had a lot of garbage. I think I would love to be short into there tomorrow. And then just waiting for it to break, and then, hopefully getting a retracement back in. So with no economic numbers really on the horizon, not sure what rallies these markets, except for Nvidia, which coming very, very soon. But, thing is we've seen Nvidia. I mean, unless Nvidia is a really crazy move and they say something that also rallies some of these mega cap names, then I don't know, man. I mean, we've seen days where Nvidia has been up 4, 5, 6%, and kind of the NASDAQ has been up 1% or something. So we'll see if there's some carry forward tomorrow. But yeah, I'm excited for Nvidia tomorrow night.
Should be a wild one. Earnings are always big, and there's nothing bigger than Nvidia earnings. I'm going to make a guess that Nvidia might have been one of the symbols on the poll that won out as we were checking throughout the midday. No chance whatsoever. Let's see. Let's find out from Sharif.
Just want to welcome everyone to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. The Big Kahunas are back, the original Big Kahunas, locked and loaded and ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. And we have a new format today. Easy to vote. Make sure to join us during that How to Trade Midday show and get into the chat and vote in the poll for your favorite ticker. Super easy. Let's start off by looking at the major averages. Everything really in green territory except the Dow. The Dow's flat, about down 0.09. The ES a little bit less than 0.5% up on the day. The NQ faring the best of them all, about 0.75% right now. And the Russell 2000 up 0.5%. Not a bad look there. The first ticker, as decided by you guys, no surprise, IBIT becoming optional for the first time today, and that's what this headline is alluding to. It looks like there was 9 figures of trading volume in the first few options, or the first few hours, excuse me, for the options on IBIT. Good move up, 53.20 guys, up 2%.
Yeah, okay, so keep in mind, up 2%, you know, it's an ETF, so that's just,
JT.
you're essentially just looking at how that bad boy's been going compared to yesterday's close. It doesn't really matter so much with Bitcoin, but in general, it's still a bull move. And I understand, like, a lot of people said, look at MSTR, and we'll definitely get to MSTR, there's no question. It's been the big runner. But there was a late day breakout to a fresh high. I was using a 15-minute chart for Bitcoin, just so that you can see, like, we had a dip, it broke out that 93 in the middle of the session, and then we got some fresh pushes right up into the top. IBIT in particular, for me, was a mixed bag. Early good, late not as good, because I had the break of the high. So we had a couple of dip buys in IBIT. It never got to 51 where I was thinking support. And again, things look bearish this morning. It is what it is. So I thought we were going to get down into support levels. That wasn't the case with IBIT. Ended up going long over 52 and then 52.5. But it was the failed breakout, at least initially, through 25, because it was looking like it was going to be a clean one. Probably should have just gone into aggressive scalp mode. Just take the break, scalp it out. I didn't do that. I usually do, but didn't, and ended up red on the breakout trade, which, you know, unfortunately for me, turned me red on the stock. If I'd scalped it, different story. But I was kind of thinking all-time high. Let's just fly. That wasn't the case, although we're still up that 2 points. And MSTR has been no question the beneficiary. You know, up 11% today. Michael Saylor is winning on this, and no questions asked. It's obviously a little bit more leverage, so if you're looking for the extra volatility, it has been following well, but at times it's actually been leading as well on MSTR. So very steady movement to the upside. I think in the afternoon it's going to follow Bitcoin, which as long as we can hold, I bet it's about 53.25 or so. As long as you can hold above that, then that breakout is still intact. Although we are making a bit of a head and shoulders, the trend has yet to break.
All right, so yeah, good talk on IBIT. I mean, the same thing. I was trying to short that 53 area. We were able to make some money, and then we got out of it. Well, hold on a second. I was going to talk about Mara, but let me just go over to IBIT just to show you what I wound up doing. There it is. We wrote it down. That's that 52.80 marker. We'll take the short into the pre-market high. Again, and pre-market doesn't mean anything for IBIT because it's Bitcoin. It's 24 hours, so... but anyways, there's that 53 short that we talked about. We actually got it right at 53. Then there's the pullback into 70s. So we got a good little trade right there. And then we tried to reload it, and then it popped up, and we wound up losing 11 cents. So small little loss there. Look what it's doing again. It's riding the 50 period. So I feel that those are good areas. We're right there right now. I don't know. You always wonder. We've seen pullbacks in Bitcoin whenever it hits highs. Like it still does run. I don't know. Don't know enough about it to have an opinion there on IBIT, what it's going to do the rest of the day. But we'll wait. Again, if it pulls back into VWAP or anything like that, we'll be all over that. An interesting thing here on Mara. Mara, despite Bitcoin heading to new highs right now, look, the up 10% is fantastic. But, I mean, why is it doing this over the last couple of days? So, I don't know. I'm a little bit like... wondering about Mara and its legitimacy against whatever crypto is doing. Obviously, the more Bitcoin goes up as a miner, the better it is for them. But it's becoming harder and harder to mine Bitcoin. Their report was not that successful. But at the end of the day, I think it's a short, man. I think it's a short at 21.50. We got as high as 20.50 there today. Great move up. I prefer the short than the long on this name. So for Mara, if we ever get an opportunity to short in around 21, we'll do something like that with the top of 21.50. So I like the stock, but I don't really like the way it's been acting lately. $26, I don't know, like there's the gaps on Trump.
I got a question.
There's the pullback in. Yeah.
What happens first? Do I turn 20?
Chicken or the egg?
Well, no. Well, obviously we know the egg came first. So, do I turn 25 first, or does Bitcoin hit 100,000?
But that's like a Back to the Future question.
Okay, and I'm joking.
Yeah.
Will Bitcoin get to 100,000?
We already talked about. Sharif asked me already. Yes. I've already said Bitcoin gets to 100,000 before Thanksgiving.
Okay, so yeah. I'm thinking. I'm Boxing Day, by the way, just for anyone that doesn't know.
Sharif asked me before about how long have I been using e-signal charts for, and I said 22 years, and I said I've been using it since I've been 5.
That's about right.
So.
Yeah. You got to start early.
Yeah.
You got to start early.
Yeah, like I tell the kids, this is dust in here. I've been working a little bit. There's some dust.
Well, you know what? And sometimes when you're hard at work.
They say, but Dad, you just got out of the shower. And I'm just like.
Well, you work so hard that like it just doesn't even matter. Let's talk about some Nvidia, because it's hard at work too.
Neil is fired. Oh, Neil's back.
Everyone's amped, guys, for the Nvidia earnings tomorrow, and it's having a great day today. Wow, up 3.88%, really looking to take out that 4%. Obviously, as we mentioned, Nvidia earnings tomorrow after the bell, and Stifel already getting in and chiming on their anticipation for the earnings, boosting the price target to 180 from 165 and maintaining their buy rating on Nvidia. But this is what we all want to know about. What is the expected move for Nvidia? So we know that the call tomorrow is going to be on at 5 o'clock, but the expected move, guys, 8.2%. Last time we dropped about 6.5%. Obviously, we recouped those losses, but Nvidia, make sure to join us tomorrow on the Market Recap Show. We're going to have that covered, guys.
And Pandeezy, Panw, Snowflake, you got it all, man. That's a big day, obviously, but big day for Nvidia today as well. 4% to the upside. I mean, come on, if you thought it was going to be, I thought realistically it would be more of an inside day than it is. Let's be real. That never manifested again like Bitcoin.
4%.
You can forget about all the dip buy ideas. Hey, let's play the range from the prior day, blah, 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 inside day. Not even close. Like all Nvidia did was get to 140 in the pre-market and decide not to go and retest that level, which I thought looked pretty good. Obviously, we're in a couple of times. The first break at 142.5 was good, bought it off VWAP, and that was a miss. Got the breakout 143. Basically just held on to the last 5% of it. And if it breaks the trend line here, since that last dip, which is right about 12:20, if you have like a 3-minute chart up or whatever, 1-minute chart, doesn't matter. That last dip set off a bit of a trend. If that trend breaks, I'm out of Nvidia. So I am pleasantly surprised by this move. To be honest with you, that said, not all chip names are this strong. Nvidia's having a great day. ARM's having a good day. It's up a couple points today. AMD even decided that it wanted to participate a little bit here, getting to the green side as well. So AMD having a pretty solid day. Its trend is not as good, but there's always a laggard, and still the dog of the afternoon is Intel, although only down 2% now. When I last checked, it was down 2.4. But big day for Nvidia. And obviously 145, that breakthrough. I think if it doesn't hold on to that, I'm jumping out if it gets out of trend, and then we'll see how far it can go before earnings on Nvidia. Just an absolute rocket ship. They just continue to win. The problem, as Sean already said, is, the last couple of earnings, it's like, well, how much more can they do? And I think that's sort of the trouble, is the expectations get so high.
All right, will Bitcoin get to 100,000 before Thanksgiving? Ramin, I've got this, okay? The Breakfast Club says yes. So that's there.
There it is.
What was that, Ramin, again? The Breakfast Club says yes. So.
Yes, we can.
All right, yes, we can. Yes, we can get to that level. So thank you, Mr. Westermeyer, for that 8 ball. The Breakfast Club says yes. Okay, just quickly here. Oh, that's Palantir. What am I doing? All right, so there's Nvidia. I mean, again, we talked about getting stopped out right there at 142. Obi actually messaged me about it too, because he had a similar trade there with Walmart where it went down and then straight up, and that's basically the situation right here, right now. So Nvidia goes down and then just straight up. So down into the 200 period, into VWAP, into the 50 period moving average, something that as a trader, we should definitely have identified that because it was obvious, right? I mean, there's the move up, there's the move down. It already held the 50 period right there. It held it again. It's held it again. It broke through, which is why we got out, only to see this happen. So look, Nvidia continues to go higher. We talked about all the price upgrades and all the stuff that's been happening with the name. So look, I like the stock. I think it continues to work higher here, and probably a long punch. Honestly, I mean, we've been watching it go through every single level. The only thing is, this is 146. So we can like the stock as much as we want to, but at the end of the day, this 146, 146.50 has had areas to think about. So I would just say look out for that. Not that there's any concern there, but that would be an area where we could slow down. And if you can get through that, then yeah, 149 and then all-time highs. So you probably get through all-time highs tomorrow, honestly, maybe even today.
Before we go back to Sharif to talk about Tesla, just worth pointing out, if you're seeing a volume spike in Rumble and wondering why Rum is making moves, well, it's this simple. The CEO posted on X, and this is the volume spike at 142. Should Rumble add Bitcoin to his balance sheet? And then the second volume spike right here was when Michael Saylor responded, yes. Yes, you should, and I would be happy to discuss why and how with you. And that's the second volume spike. So if you're wondering what's going on with Rumble, that's it. Hey, not that they did add, but just like, should we add?
Hey, this just in, Alex Karp also asking if, no, that's not true. Yeah, the answer is yes. Remember a long time ago when it was Elon, actually, he was talking about holding, I don't know if what did he hold, 1 billion or something worth of Bitcoin on Tesla's balance sheet. And yeah, so.
You're gonna hold cash. You're gonna hold
nothing wrong with that. I tried to take my salary back in like 2018, 2019 in Bitcoin from this company right here that we're working with when I was working on the other side, and they said no.
I just chuckling, man. I love Sean. All right, guys, Tesla, the next on the list over here, we're up about 1.4%. No major catalyst for this one today, but there was this little tidbit out of China. It looks like the weekly insurance registrations popping up, predicting a possibly good fourth quarter for Tesla in China. Separately, yesterday we got wind, at least. It was gapping up yesterday, Sunday night, Monday morning, because of the Trump administration possibly accelerating the full self-drive regulation and kind of taking that into the federal domain. So good luck for Tesla today, guys, but off the highs.
If you're wondering about this hat, so am I, but it is Trade the Pool. I mean, we had Mitch on this morning, and we had this hat from Trade the Pool. We want to make sure that you can trade with a real advantage, and that would be trading with Trade the Pool. It gives stock traders like you an edge with their funding program. For a one-time fee, you join their evaluation process. Once you hit the target, that's it. You're funded. All right, you can get up to $260,000 in capital and risk nothing on your end. And with flexible conditions, the payout is easy. Get up to 80%. Your strategies, no barriers. On top of that, get that profit today, up to 80 points. Why wait? Hit tradethepool.com and you could trade bigger and better, and make sure that you hit that QR code there. Let them know you're from Trader TV and grab your 10% off. All right, Tesla.
Damn.
I mean, yeah. I was surprised when we had talked about it today, and we're like, okay, we're approaching 350, and it's like 350. Like, we started the day down here at 333. We ripped up like pretty hard there, man. Up 14 straight dollars. Like, not that it was straight. There was a little bit of a bump in the road there, right here, between 40 and 42. A nice little pull back in. But this is why I'm getting a little nervous right here. Like, well, I'll talk about my Palantir position, which unfortunately it's not on the screen. Like, what's the matter? You know, it should be up there. But at the end of the day, Tesla falling back in right now. And what I'm saying is we're underneath the 50, we're underneath the 200, and we're approaching VWAP. That's the next area to test. So if you're waiting to get long anything, I would say this 342 looks pretty good. And the reason why, again, VWAP, plus there's the bottom right there. That was made at around 11 o'clock. And it was also a problem, like Jake Paul is, a problem child. Right there, 342 and change. Watch out, Conor McGregor.
Ain't no one worried about Jake Paul. Serrano, robbed.
Yeah, Serrano.
Robbed.
Can Jake Paul hit a curveball? That's the question that we all want to know.
No.
I mean, I think he probably could, but I mean, we'll wait. Yeah, it depends on who's pitching. You know, if Sharif is pitching.
Well,
Curveballs are hard to throw. I'm not, I mean,
Dude, a curve was...
for me, I can't throw. I mean,
No, a curve
Jake
is-
Paul could hit. Ooh.
You know what the problem...
Sharif had a
why
dirty
people can't throw
slider.
curveballs? The biggest thing, everyone thinks when you throw a curveball, you're supposed to break the wrist. The reality is, for all pitches, you're supposed to hold your wrist in place, and it's the way you grip it and hold the ball. Like for the curve, you've got to be able to hold it like that in that position, and then turn it over with.
Glad I brought this up.
No, seriously. And I remember the longest time when I was a kid, I used to try to like snap, snap, snap. And I'm like,
That is what you think, because you think like you're
you
curving.
think to spin it, and it's completely counterintuitive. That's what makes it so challenging. And what can also be counterintuitive.
Blood sport, I mean.
Blood sport. What can also be counterintuitive.
You want to know what sport we're talking about.
Is when Tesla seems like it's doing nothing, it just powers on through. I am a little bit concerned that it's getting overheated as well. That said, maybe we see that 350 level. I had one breakout trade and that was it. It was like a one and done breakout on Tesla. We took it when it broke 39. It got to 41 change, and that was pretty much it for me. I did not see this one coming on Tesla. There wasn't like an overwhelming reason why it was going up. But with that said, it's a much stronger hold off a break of the same area like yesterday. Like the same area broke out and then ended up red. Today, it looks like it's holding that higher low. So you're getting another bull flag, and I guess we'll see a run at that 350 tomorrow. While everyone's looking at Nvidia, quietly, Tesla had a very, very good day. And only because Randy came in and said everyone should buy Rivian. I will point out that once again at the open, Randy says buy Rivian. Rivian dipped at the open, holds $10 twice, and is now at the high of the day. So go figure. But it's still only $10.28. So Rivian, not good, but up today. Shout out to you, Randy.
Backed holdings and Trump media in focus now. So we got yesterday news that DJT was looking at actually picking up backed holdings here. It's a crypto company. It shot up aggressively on that news. Didn't really give back a lot of the gains that we made yesterday. It's up about 4%, a little bit lower than that. The company this morning basically acknowledged the rumors as reported by the Financial Post, but refused to comment on them. Separately, the chart of DJT, not as good of a look, obviously, as BK or BKKT. This one, guys, down about 7.4%.
AT has like, I don't know, I thought I read somewhere like 500-600 in cash, but mil in cash. Although then the rumor was that if they did a deal, it was going to be in shares, take advantage of the increased share price. So that was never made sense why that's bullish for DJT, but you never had a chance to trade it off of the highs from yesterday's trade. Is what it is. It's above VWAP right now and trying to go. There was just a small volume spike in DJT. Tiny little one to get it back above VWAP, holding the $30 level. Never really on my radar, but if it's going to squeeze, well, today it wasn't on the radar, but if it's going to start squeezing, I don't love this catalyst, generally speaking. If it's going to be a stock deal, it just doesn't make any sense to me why that would be super bullish for it. But you could creep and break the 31 price level, and a squeeze is a squeeze as far as I'm concerned. Like, what difference does it make if it's going to go? You just want to see if it can go. I did have backed, unfortunately, twice, not once. Shorted it off of VWAP in 33.5. It played down into 32.5. Reloaded it like a genius. Sometimes you just like take your shot on that, and it should be it. But reloaded it, and much like IBIT, won too many trades. It eventually worked, but I would have been out when it broke the 35 level. And backed, while up, has backed off of some of its highs. Right now, the 30 looks like a heck of a flat bottom break there on BKKT. So keep your ear to the ground. It's obviously going to be a story that if there's something comes of this, and there is some kind of a deal, it would depend on what the actual structure is. And if it's all stock, that would be a very volatile situation for BKKT because DJT stock is volatile in its own. So if it was just a share consideration, I think there'd be a lot of people rigging the register if they could, if that deal were to happen. So I think that's bearish in a couple of senses on BKKT in terms of selling the news.
We're getting a little bit out here on Palantir at 61.95 or so. I cannot I'm beside myself that we weren't sitting there at the 200 period moving average, but the market trying to pull back just a little bit. Look, we wrote down today DJT that we liked it if we're able to get a halting situation. It didn't. I mean, a halt is tough to get because 10%, and that's hard to do in that 5-minute halt period. But We'll see what winds up happening there. I mean, I feel like it's been doing really, even though it's down 7%, part of the reason why that 7%, it's like a false 7%. What I mean by that is it had such a huge move. Like, it's still up from where it was yesterday. Like, yesterday at 3 o'clock. So yesterday at this time, you're at 27. Today, you're at 30 at this time. The problem is that you had this huge move at the end of the day when they were talking about buying or at least having some sort of a deal there with Bakkt. But now that might not be happening, or there's just nothing about it right here, and it's just simply a market rumor, as they've called it. So we'll have to wait to see if it breaks 31. I think you just wait for that. It's not hard. Like, we don't need to listen to news. We don't need to do anything. If it breaks this level, that means there's something going on, right? So I think that's a good little level there to break 31. I mean, that exact price is 30.80. Up into here, you might, if you wanted to really wait, it's that pre-market high of 31.35. So I think that would definitely signify something's going on. And I mean, the reason why we're able to, again, like yesterday, if you had that same sort of a strategy and you said, you know what, it's 3 o'clock, we're just going to wait to see if we could break out through the day's high, through the pre-market high, then you had yourself a great trade. So, you know, let's not kid ourselves. This thing could still move and go green today. You need something to happen. And I'd rather wait for a pop than a drop. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll put an order in and around 31 to see if we can indicate some interest if and when we get there. But yeah, that's what's happening right now on DJT. Let's go find out about Walmart.
It was a knockout report this morning, Sean, that came out from Walmart. Not a lot to criticize here. Beating on the top and bottom line. Aggressive revenue growth, about $4.5 billion in net profit. Compare that to last year. This quarter was about $450 million. So good look there. E-commerce growth grew 22% year over year, and they issued a reassessment of their outlook, increasing the outlook there. So good look, guys. Up almost 4% on the day. What a fantastic look for Walmart.
Let's just say, you know, Walmart is a stock that it knows how to go into the pain and finish strong. It is the opposite of Ben Simmons. You know, it just gets the job done. It doesn't have to be flashy, but it's just consistent, you know, night after night. You know, kind of what I love about a stock like this is
kind of like Joel Embiid. He's consistently on the sidelines.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, that's what you want. You want to know what you're getting.
You're right.
And I know Embiid.
Maximum player, max player.
I know that Ben Simmons is going to pass the rock. Even if he's standing right underneath the basket and everyone's on the other end of the court, he's
only if
find
it's playoffs
a way, to pass that rock, and that's what we love about it. And Walmart, like there's nothing too much to say about the daily chart except what I was sort of getting at. And it's not an outsized move today, but there was something, and the reason why we did lesson of the day, we talked about this and maybe a little bit of lows as well. When you looked at what happened in the pre-market, it's just a huge mess, right? Like, you were breaking out, it got to 88. You pull back, the prior high was 86. It was once it reestablished above 86. You throw out all this mess, and then once we make that bottom,
oh my God,
at the open, it's right here testing 86. And that's that prior high. So it instantly holds 86, then holds it again, and then you're off to the races. So it's a lot of garbage in the pre-market, but once it settles down, that was the prior high in the daily. That was the prior high in the 15, and then that was the level that you had to wait around for on Walmart. It's only up 4%, and it's only up $1 from that level, but let it do what it always does. You know, give it some consolidation, and then another slow upward trend. Continues, slow and consistent. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever on Walmart. And we're going to get, I think we have Target coming through as well this week. I don't want to say tomorrow because it might be Thursday, but we'll get them as well. And look, the retail names all caught a bid today because of it. This will be the chance I get to mention. I liked Walmart for a short. And it looked good early on. But once it broke and went red to green, like, thank goodness we got away from it because it got dragged up. This is one of the weaker names in the market and now up a full percentage point. It was higher. It's actually pulled back from 205, but thankfully was able to at least get away from that and try not to make it a disaster. And hindsight's going to be 2020, but when Walmart held that bid, probably not the best time to have liked that Amazon short, even though the level's still set up there. Could have always tried to find something else.
I'm trying to find something else too. All right, so we had written down on here on the sticky note today that Walmart 85. So Walmart 85 came in, but it didn't come in until It only came in once, and it banged off 85 like to the penny pretty much. And that was in the pre-market right around 9 o'clock, and we had that drip down. That's when we were shorting the whole market. So that was completely wrong. That was the low of the day. That's the only time that Walmart came into our level. The next trade, of course, I didn't think there was one for Walmart unless you believed in it. Maybe breaking this little level right there, 86 back to the upside. You take the long, but then it comes back in again and just gives you a nightmare all morning. Here, let me show you this for Walmart. It's just, this is too tough. Too tough, man. The first 10 minutes, no way. I was only going to say if you absorbed this move down and then you liked it, well, then I would say right off the open when you dipped into this level again, 86. And that was essentially, again, it's easy when you look back. Everything is. But like that, those bottoms right there sort of coincides with the market bottom before that drop. So I feel like there was ways in, and we talked about that. And that's what I was telling you before when Obi, and I don't, he talked to me about it. I think he had gotten maybe stopped out somewhere in here, but then had waited for it here and then had that long, similar to what we did on Nvidia the other day as well, waiting for that pre-market bottom. But oh boy, now we're starting to go. Come on, Palantir. Come on, my guy. We can get back up to here. We'll take that. We'll take an 02s. An 08. I was also waiting up here in just before 20s to get a piece out. There you go. We'll get run over and take an 08 right there. So far, so good there. We should have been reloaded there on Palantir. That's what I'm looking for, is some dip buy opportunities. You're right, Coffee Trader. And man, oh man, are you right. Nvidia just will not stop. Like we were talking about this at 145. When you guys asked about it there, and I was like, oh yeah, what's the next? Just 146, just going to take that out, like kind of joking about it. But yeah, and by the way, I think Palantir can still go. SMCI we're still in as well. We probably should have taken that out. Maybe SMCI is the one we're looking to reload here at VWAP. Still a very, very light position. We've had it since the morning. We didn't get anything out right there. I'm debating this right now, SMCI into VWAP for that long. So again, it seems like it wants to work on stocks that have news. I like pullbacks into this level. Right there, it got us out. I feel like we didn't just get out randomly there. That must have been the 50 period or something that got us out there. And then all of a sudden, the bounce off of VWAP that we've missed now twice. Eventually, the levy breaks. But I mean, there's a lot of support, I would think here. 2750, a level for SMCI. So here it comes in. I'm gonna try it, but not too huge, because what we're trying to do is VWAP back to here. So that's 2750. That gives us about 60, 70 cents at least. With that bottom, yeah. I mean, where are we gonna punch out? So we'll try it. Very, very tight stop if we get 2750. And Palantir is now starting to go higher, so we like that trade.
Yeah, I like that 2750. I got to stop in there off of VWAP on SMCI. It's up that 30%.
Oh, you're already long. Yeah, perfect.
Well, it's, but it's been stalling at a 2850-ish. So it's bouncing off VWAP, 2850. It can't seem to bust past. I think it's like, that's your line. If it gets there, great. We'll look for the bounce play, but if it can't, I mean, obviously, if it loses the bid, SMCI, that's the kind of stock that could, if it loses a bid, you could drop $1 on it. So you got to have a tight stop there. Nvidia just keeps on going. I keep drawing this trend line, and it keeps on going away. I think I know why, though. Right now, if my trail is underneath 145.8. So if you connect like the last trend, like this pullback with the top, if it's underneath 145 and 80 level, just underneath that, we're going to trail out. Nvidia could go higher. It's already up that 4%, though. And I just look at how steep the move has gotten. You're running into some overhead resistance, so I want to try to respect it. As we're looking over, just noticing Tesla just pulled back into VWAP. MSTR is starting to pull back a little bit in here. So I was pointing it out, like you have SMCI pulling back into VWAP as we're talking. I feel like this could be the spot where some of the longs
I know what I want.
are going to start to come out there. So we almost got trailed out there on Nvidia, maybe about 15 cents away from there, but no turn just yet. AMD, I was thinking maybe there'd be a curl on AMD where I could short that if Nvidia pulled back. This one already dipped $1. So might not be available to short AMD. Is what it is. If I can find a short in this stock, it's now that it's turned red, we'll have to look for a level because it's still a ways to VWAP and it's too far from that high of the day to use that.
So I don't know how much movement we're going to have here with Alibaba, but I'm going to take a trade right now.
87.
Yeah, it's pretty low, right? I mean, 87. We'll see if we can get a little bit more here at 87.15 or so. And then I just want to go with this name. So I don't know what I mean by that is I'm not sure if we're going to get too much movement here after noon. So again, a lot of the trading there in China now is just finished for the day. So even if you're trading ADRs, they can just wait until the market opens up over there. But at the end of the day, you're underneath. I don't know, that little spike there has affected this VWAP a little bit. So I feel like it's a little bit higher. 87.30 I'm seeing. Yeah, so that is right. So it's about 87.30 on eSignal on our platform there. It shouldn't, that's too much of a, I mean, that's what VWAP does though. When you get volume spikes, it takes that into consideration and then recalculates. That's what it's supposed to do. So I would just more like to see this. If that didn't happen, doesn't seem to have affected the stock too much, rather sloping down. It's more like 87.30, 87.25 or so. So we'll try a short into there, which kind of matches this little shelf level there. I would think that the best short would be 87.40. So we'll try to take something in and around 20, 25s, try to have that as an average price. And if we rip up here into 40, then we'll be able to get out. So we'll put on a new position right now. That's Alibaba, new position for the short. We just have it right now at 08s. Let it breathe a little bit. See if that one will come working for us. I mean, just a couple minutes ago, man, I said I liked Amazon up there at 205. Yeah, well, that's not there anymore. We just got on air. Like now you're down $2 from that 205 area that I liked. And again, only because felt like it just got a little bit top heavy there. We saw the market come through. Huge day for Amazon. Not really too many stories that we saw. So that was kind of the reason. But now you're starting to move downside. So good trade there for Amazon. If anybody has that through the 200 period. You're looking for VWAP there. That would be 202.50. Still another $1. So there is more time on that. I'm not like, here's a broader look at the NASDAQ. I don't, like I want to get into something. I keep looking over here to see if SMCI is doing anything. It's not really, but you're in the middle here, like I'd like to be a little closer to the 200 period up to 2100. I really like that level, 21,000, sorry. And then, somewhere back in, we're just not anywhere now. Like 20,750. I mean, that's a nice level. You could use the top of 20,800 and go short. You think it's overextended. But again, I just think with Nvidia coming tomorrow, and we had a good report from Walmart. We've got Target on deck. We've got a couple names. We can call up the earnings board and
Snowflake.
we'll have a look at that. Snowflake and a couple of good names there. So we'll have a look at the earnings board in a minute. But I don't know. Right now, I'm not really in love with either way. Maybe Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin pulling back a little bit. It's 93.5 right now.
DJT's trying to go.
Is DJT trying to go? Well, that was this. I
don't want to
get through 31 is what we like.
Not yet. Halfway there.
Okay, halfway there.
Yeah, it was a 30 hold when we started in the afternoon show. It's at 30.5 now. So if you're looking for something which is still trying to press higher, this is trying to make a little bit of a squeeze play through that 31. I got this one on the radar, but I mean, SMCI is not quite at VWAP yet. It's pretty close, so that could come into play. Tesla just pulled into VWAP and went briefly underneath. 341.70 was last time we had a dip into that price. That was the bottom. So it dips into VWAP, and if it breaks this level, I feel like if this gets underneath 341, Tesla could, like, it's not really like a flat bottom break, but if it loses that flag, like it lost strength earlier yesterday. And not that I was here trading it, but it was a good strong move early. It lost it a little bit earlier in the session, but man, did it ever come selling in there. So if it loses this flag, I got to feel like this could be a shorting opportunity. Part of me wants to go over and see if you can short Rivian, but Tesla, it's going to move on its own. So that 341 could come into play. Feel like SMCI's test of VWAP could come first. We'll see. It's not quite there just yet. It's starting to barcode off of 2780. This ALGS, just for anyone looking at this, it's halted multiple times in here. So this is going to be a bit of a runner. Just one caution. It's halted 5 or 6 times. They did have, they presented data, what was this, for a liver disease drug that they had, and obviously didn't go too well, but it's done less than 1 million shares worth of volume with all those halts. So even with all this volatility, under 1 million shares, that's kind of a no-fly zone. Like if it does nothing early, news comes out, and there's a bunch of halts, and it's all of a sudden exploding in volume, that's one thing. But if after all that action, it's still less than 1 million shares, not really my cup of tea. But you might see this one on halt scanners, as it doesn't seem to stay open for very long.
So I was just like trying to zoom in. We got some more shares there. We just got more at 08. This is at the 50-period moving average. The biggest move down we've had is to O's so far, but we're trying to be a little patient. So I zoomed in a little bit and I saw 86.95s was that last little drip in there. That was, again, trying to defend the 50-period. Why we're going short now is it looks like it doesn't want to stay above it. And then you have the 200-period. So I'm thinking of like, you know, if we could, I don't know how, I need to get that 2 where I just draw on this chart right here, just like a random. I used to have a tool and then I could erase it. I'm going to find out what that thing's called. But anyways, I just feel like there's some room down into here. So we'll see. Here it comes, breaking a little bit. I don't have any bids until 95, I think I just put in there. 96. So that means basically the very bottom. I'm going to switch that to 98 now that I zoom in a little bit, cancel my 96 quickly in case we get, well, if I get both of them, I guess it's okay. So here comes the break. Hopefully we can break that O's here. Look, it's a small trade. I mean, that's fine. That is what it is. But that's what we're looking at right now. Hopefully a break a little bit lower on Alibaba through O's. We talked about this would be a little slow one. So we're only going to get out now at 15%, no, less than that, 10% if we can, and then we'll work on it from there. Sorry, 15%, that's right. So if we get filled down here at 98s, then that will be that, and that'll be our 10 cents, and then we'll hold the rest. And if we can get, honestly, like it's going to sound pretty silly, but like the next target down here, like 85s, if we take like 25 cents on it, that'd be really good because that's about our risk. We're trying to get this up to about 87.30 or so. So that would be 18 cents. So hopefully, sorry, 22 cents. All right, nice move down. Let's see if we can get it. Here it comes. Hopefully we'll get that 98 and then we'll just go bang and hopefully hit that. And that will be that trade. Palantir, falling back in, but we got a bunch out up there, so not too much to worry about. My stop on Palantir was in the 60s, but I mean now I almost feel like if we break there, that's 70. So let's just switch it. It's something silly, but again, I feel like if you're gonna put out stops, you might as well put them where you want them. So 61.70, so I'll go 61, 69. I mean, let's go 68. We'll just get out of them all. And then I feel like that's a decent reload spot as well if we're able to. 61.75, 61.80, something like that for a little bit of a reload. There we go. We get the Alibaba. So nice little trade there, just little. I mean, we got more shares, so it's fine, but small little 10 cents. And here we go. Let's see if we can bring it to the downside. We knew we wanted the short at least. So far, so good right there. I know we're still battling with SMCI. You're probably going to talk about that maybe in a minute because you're in it, but I don't know, man.
It's not moving.
I'm going to cancel this trade. I'm not going to take it. I was going to take it here, but I don't. Sleeping for some reason there.
I'm not on the
Are the
bid.
sellers waiting? I don't know.
My stop's underneath 27.50, but I don't have a bid to go long it. Because it's not really testing VWAP on SMCI. I did get into Tesla with a little bit of, it's not really a flat bottom break, as I said. It's just that, call it like a bull flag or higher level support. But this is SMCI. No real pullback into VWAP. There's your 27.5. Not much doing there. What is that one? I don't need that. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of that one. Don't need it. So SMCI, again, it's not doing much. But Tesla lost that 341.70, broke down, was able to get some 22s in there. We'll give it back into VWAP on the short side. So Tesla, I'm not saying it's going to do what it did yesterday, but a little bit earlier than this, it was strong and then did a pullback, lost the support, and then trended down. So looking for this to take out 341, trade into that 340 level, as I just heard something on Joby.
Nothing, just saying.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's every now and then. Yeah, this was already going. Joby. Every now and then you just hear, and I'm like, oh, maybe there's news on Joby. No, just that Joby's making a fresh little high. So the only new position for me is Tesla.
Got Jobied.
And then SMCI still, I'd like it to actually test VWAP because that's what it was doing before. Like you'd get the dip, you could be in the consolidation, but ultimately it was the dip buy off VWAP that you wanted. So don't want to compromise here about 30 cents higher. And then DJT, yeah, no, I must have jinxed it. It got to like 30.60. Looked like we were going to make a test of 31. Now it's back at VWAP as well. So it looks like DJT 31 breakout is going to have to be put on hold for at least a little bit here, unfortunately. I keep moving the target on Nvidia because it keeps on setting a new trend. So I'm still underneath the 145.70, 80 level, actually under 74. But if it continues to break fresh highs, we just keep moving the trail along with the trend line. So Nvidia is still going. It is about 3 in the money, but my trail now would be about 260 if we get trailed out, continuing to make fresh highs.
Yeah, Nvidia is amazing. All right, so Alibaba also. I told you. I mean, this is. Neil just put on Tesla, SMCI. Other than that, like this is a new position for the after show. We haven't really. I mean, I guess I added a little. No, I did not, because that Palantir was up from 130. So yeah, Baba, fresh position here for you guys. We got that fill. We got that fill at 87. So yeah, you know, getting lighter and lighter on this as it falls back in. So just a quick little scalp there, pay for some coffee, and work on it after that. So hopefully we do get a nice little downside push here happening for Alibaba. I like it. Again, the reason why I like this name is it's down 2.6% today. And I thought the market was trying to make a move a little bit there. I don't know. You know, 20,700, that's to be 100 handles. I mean, that would make sense if we bounced off of here. It looks like that's what we're doing. But then what if we break that? Then I do think the next level, we get a little lower. So for me, I'm going to favor the short. You just heard me say I'm canceling my SMCI. So just, you know, proof is in the pudding. I won't try to go long up in and around there. Broadcom just falling in. Oh, man. AVGO. So another name that just came up on the scanner. This just falling right into VWAP right now. So, I mean, okay, I know Nvidia is going, but I mean, why would I trade anything else? Like AVGO is red on the day. NASDAQ is
red,
quite green, yeah. And, you know, you're falling right back into VWAP here. And it's not like VWAP has been that attractive today. I mean, it was a great hold right there. That hold is 164 up to 166.50. So that's $2. You'll take that all day, especially if you're using that bottom of 164.80. That gives you about, you know, if you take 165, you can have 20 or 30 cents of risk for the market to retrace. I just looking for shorts now. That's all. I just don't think the long is the right trade. So if you're looking at AVGO and you flip it on its side again, then you could think that maybe if we can get back up to the 50 period, then that would be a short. So maybe 50 cents a little bit higher, and I would like that as a red name for the day. But we picked on Alibaba, and it's a good, look at this, and it's a good thing that we did. I mean, there it goes right now into the bottom. We'll start to see if we can bid some 84s right now. We're going to have to get run over, so we actually joined that ARCA. There we go. We actually got that fill right there, so nice move back in on that. Or did we go to NASDAQ? I don't remember what we did. But there's the fill right there, 86.85. Another fill for Alibaba as it just went up, and then it fell right back in. And sometimes you got to take those fills when they're there. So you just saw me put the order in, and we were able to get that. So yeah, I agree with everybody on SMCI. I mean, it does look like it's going to bounce. I had a bid on Boeing down at 125-ish. That hasn't gotten there, obviously. It's had a nice little bounce there. We actually with Raider Trader, I guess on Friday, and he had said sort of the same thing. Maybe it was getting a little bit too extended to the downside and look for some possible call action there. Now we've had 2 straight up days. Of course, he was there on Friday, which would have been this day. So in and around 140. So you get a bump from 140 to 144. It's a couple percentage points, but still nice. And depending on what options you have, I guess that would be a decent trade there. 93.4 on Bitcoin. Still near the highs.
Still near the highs, but not really.
DraftKings, Disney, Netflix.
You're just not pushing that much anymore. We'll get to Netflix in a second.
SMCI.
Nick Dub, you had a question, but I want to go over Tesla. I said where the stop is, but I like showing anyways. We took the breakdown. Let me get that out of the way, but I will get to your question. Broke down, enter on the break, stop at the prior bar high. I feel like I say that a heck of a lot more after you pointed out that Obi liked it, but that's VWAP anyways on Tesla. Not going to give it that extra dollar. Only a couple of scalp trades on Tesla, one long, one short, but the second it regains VWAP, I get out. SMCI did not quite get into the buy level that I liked. Might have missed it by a slight amount, but overall, I just didn't feel like it was moving all that much and thought there would be a better chance that DJT was going to get a breakout than SMCI was going to start to go again. The question, I believe, Nick W., you were asking about thoughts on Target. So Target, obviously, Walmart's had a fantastic day today. Target, on the other hand, is not Walmart. I think we all know that. They've had their own issues. They are reporting tomorrow morning, so it should be the big one in the morning. I hate when stocks report in the morning, but it does give you an opportunity if you're patient enough. I just don't like trading them until about 10 o'clock if you're going to. Let the mess settle down. The good news for Target is it feels like it's made a pretty distinct bottom on the daily. Like you broke a solid retracement downward trend after it caught its bid, and you've held a good level of support here at about 145 bucks. I mean, you throw that in, I think it's got a good solid base. As long as it can hold that, I think it's okay. Because it's gone down so far, I'm not, like I think a lot of the risk is probably for the short side of the trade. I prefer Walmart. I own Walmart. And even if I were to look for something to buy that wasn't Walmart, it probably wouldn't be Target. It would be getting Costco. So candidly, it's not something that I like. That said, I will favor longs, whether it's off of support at that 147, just seeing the reaction. I mean, Walmart had a dip and then it got bought up today. We saw Lowe's had bad earnings, it had a dip and then it got bought up. And so when I see the support there on the higher low of Target, I'm kind of feeling the same thing, that even if it heads down, it would be a buy the dip situation because that's what the other ones did. And this is why you have stops. Like, look at this. Now Tesla's like flying. So it's now $1.30 since we got out of the trade. But that's why you got to get out of the trade, unfortunately. SMCI starting to go. Again, it didn't quite get down into that 50 level. It got real close. It was one wick into 70s, and then you didn't get that push back in. If we can't retake 28.50, I'm going to probably dip out of this thing if it gets to 28.50 and pulls back one more time. And again, this Nvidia just keeps going and going and going. I now, with the market coming back up again, it might get a little bit more appealing if AMD can make a little bit more of a push. Because I like AMD short, not Nvidia. And I haven't been able to pounce on this one yet. I'd like to be playing it off the 139.5 or it busting down through VWAP. It's more likely we get the former than the latter.
So, yeah, we're noticing the market's starting to go back upside as well. So we'll take some more advantage of this Palantir trade right there, 61.99. We're out of more of this. Again, we're long down at the downside, 61.78 is where we are. Oh, we have a new position. What's up, Randy? Oh, here, hold on. Keep Randy there. I want to do something. Here, hold on a second. There we go. Wait, Randy. Is he that? Is he that? All right, that's enough. We'll have some fun around here. Thank you, Randy. Okay, sometimes. All right, AMD is, I mean, you were just talking about it, so I am short, so. Might not have any winning trades, but we have some fun on here. Hold on, what's this mic is, get out of my way. All right, engage. So, yeah, I mean, I was feeling the market short, right? And so I was looking for some short opportunities. So let's just see if the market does break or hold this 50-period moving average. You're starting to slope down. It's been something that we've looked at. I mean, I don't like picking, as we said here, trying to search too hard for trades. They should be like showing up. And if the market wants to do something right now, heading into power hour, and we're caught the wrong way, then we have to get out a lot quicker than maybe if it was the midday. Very, very similar now to finding the right trades. Different than the open, because once the open happens and you're on a trade like Nvidia or AMD or anything, you can have like that bottom. Like if you have that bottom there, it can trend the rest of the day and to the point where it finally breaks out. And then you're just going. Like we see what's happening with Nvidia as well. But right now, it's like
what this market's like? You
could just go up and then come right back in again. And it's just bouncy, and it is what it is at this point. But what is this market like?
There was this dude, and we were, again, like whatever. We're in Rome. We're just walking down the street. I don't remember where we were headed that particular day, but this older gentleman was crossing the street. A car stopped dead to try and avoid him. This guy on a bike just wiped out into the back of the car. Just, boom, a huge fall, and he pops up. Oh, really? And he starts just yelling at the car, which, by the way, was trying not to hit an old man. Didn't deserve it. And he's just, I'm assuming he was cursing the guy out. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you just got whomped. Aren't you hurt? He was too busy. Just all over the guy.
Italians don't really get hurt like that. It's a little different.
He just popped up and was like, I'm talking trash right now. And everyone's like, did you not see the old man that almost just got run over? Like
those streets, the things that it's a completely different driving experience.
I could not drive
in Europe.
Everything's so tight there. Nobody has bigger cars. My daughter was like, where are all the big cars? Why does no one have like a big Jeep? It's all the small stuff. Yep. I explained to her, like, look at the roads. It's just
Nvidia's going to be 147. I mean, that's $2 high.
I just keep moving the trend line, and it just keeps on holding it. So the trail's now at the quarter, 146 and a quarter. Nvidia is just absolutely on one. Like it was, trust me, it was Bitcoin earlier that was going nuts, but now it's just Nvidia. And I guess they love it going into the earnings as usual. Nvidia is the king. But it's not just, look, the market has been doing pretty well, but the market's off the highs. Nvidia is making those highs. I do feel like, if you're looking at something, because I'm on the offer in front of the 139.50 on AMD, at least make sure it's relatively weak. Like, this is a strong stock. I only want to be either holding or looking long in it, but when you start to scan, and again, like AMD is kind of red. I like that lower high that it's got in there. It's definitely on the daily chart, it's nasty. You've got a lower high in the 15-minute as well. Like, that's what I'm sort of looking at. Like, the thing that couldn't break out and never got to our short levels this morning, that's the one I would rather play off of. So if SMCI is getting into that level where it's put up or shut up at that 28.50 level, so I said if we get here and fail to break, we'll pop out of that trade. It needs to break out this level. There's kind of a wall there at the 50s and then some more shares at the 60 level if it can't punch through. I'm going to jump out of that trade. James Choi, can you please discuss NEO earnings tomorrow morning? I know there's a lot of names that report, and NEO used to be a really exciting stock. It's just not anymore. I don't know what else to tell you. The $5 level has been a good one, so I suppose if it breaks out 5 again, maybe you got a scalp trade. 5 to 535 has been 535 has been a wall, so maybe a $5 break tomorrow if it has a good day, and then you can get like 25, 30 cents out of it or something like that. 535 has been the big resistance level on NEO. Downward trending, but heck, I mean, it just hasn't been a very good stock for quite some time. And then you throw in the fact that the Chinese ADRs in general have been in a pullback. Yeah, not a great look. And this is on the heels of XPeng beating today, and they're down 2 points. That's not a good sign at all for NEO. But it's squeezable. I just want no part of that sucker unless it's breaking out of some kind of level, because I think it's pretty gimmicky. Yeah, XPeng was up like 3 or 4 points. So if you can't catch a sympathy bid, you know it's not looking good.
This SMCI is $3 in the money, but the thing is like, we had debated sitting there and reloading right there, and we didn't do it. So that, that's the problem. So it doesn't really, it's a great trade, man. I mean, we already had it from the beginning of the day. So me getting out here is like admitting defeat because we didn't get out when it was up here. So 29.50, I think, is maybe where we're going with SMCI. But let's, all right, so Alibaba came back up. We have less than half of this position. We got out some more right there at 95s. Hopefully it can fall back in if the futures want to. Right now, you just made that move all the way to the 50 period, so it's now put up or shut up, and I hope it shuts up and comes back down in. So, okay, here we go. I have to take something. I mean, I don't, actually, what am I short at? I'm only short at 98. All right, so I had a bid here on AMD at 87s. I'm going to put something, just a small piece. Let's put 5% here at 91 in case there is something there. But for right now, let's see if we can get a little bit lower here on AMD. Again, we probably started the short too early, and now we're stuck having to wait an extra couple minutes here for the move to actually come through. So, all right, let's go to Neil.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about military metals, because Donald J. Trump, during his first presidency, emphasized that a strong America must not depend on foreign adversaries for critical minerals essential to our nation's economic and military strength in the 21st century. Aligning with this vision, military metals is emerging as a global powerhouse in the antimony space, crucial for defense and military applications. With past producing assets in the US, Canada, and Europe, military metals is poised to secure these vital resources domestically. Don't wait too long. This story is heating up fast. So big shout out to them. You can find them on the OTC markets. And we were just talking OTC, which giving you 24 hours starting soon. So we'll shout out to Jeff Metal for that. Yes, shout out to military metals. I said it was put up or shut up time at this level here on SMCI. So there's the bounce off of VWAP. I mean, in a broad sense, SMCI, there's your gap up. Whether or not they're going to maintain compliance, they got a bit of a reprieve. It's not over for them yet. I don't want anyone to think that. But the fact that they've got a new order, obviously good news, and they've got a plan of action to regain compliance, which is all that was necessary for them to temporarily stay listed. But it just tagged right back up to the 50 level, broke it. There was still sellers right above there into the 60s again, so I trailed out of it. Maybe we get another test back into VWAP, but we just rang register there. And Sebastian, hold on a second. Neil Roberts, did Sean ask you about the cryptocurrency training rate in this chat yet? Don't.
Sebastian.
Yeah, I don't.
Ask you what the cryptocurrency.
No, I'm not even sure if I understand.
No, I
that
think he's
question.
trying to get us to talk about. Oh, yeah. Trading rate. Okay, yeah. I got it. Okay. So we had a poll last week, and I just want you, I want you to guess where you would think our audience would lie. So the question was, do you hold, right, any cryptocurrency?
Hold any crypto.
Yeah. It was, do you own, like hold, own. It wasn't trade. It was, do you own, I think it was own. Do you own any cryptocurrency?
What percentage of our viewers?
Yeah, like what percentage of the viewers would you say, what do you think that distribution would be?
22%.
Hold it? Yeah, I think that's about right. Wow, that's pretty close. I thought it would be the other way around. That's the same thing that Marissa guessed too. So what was it? It was, no, it wasn't 50-50, was it?
50%?
I don't know. I can now see. Now we had no. So I thought it would have been 70% the other way. I thought most of our audience were holders of crypto, and it ended up 50-50. Okay, so so you're wrong the one way. I'm wrong the other way. But at the end of the day,
50's high.
You thought it was high. Yeah. See, I thought that was low. I'm just surprised how split it was there, and I just thought more people owned it. And the reason why I talked about it is because Sharif hadn't gotten in until then he came back from holiday. Yeah, or he was off, I think on the Friday, maybe when I was talking about it. And then he had said that he had recently just got into it. So I was like, yeah, there's a lot of people that like crypto, and I was using him as an example.
But are not in.
Obviously he's in the money now. He was in at 70 something, I guess. But at the end of the day, I was like, yeah, I'm really surprised that we talk about it so much, yet there's a lot of people that don't hold it. So
I just think that just
shows there's under ownership, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like I know when we usually look at the viewership, it's like that 25 to 45 demographic, and the upper end of that, not necessarily as active holding.
I guess that's true.
So that would have been my guess, but 50, I think that's really great. Nunya Biz, I own 100 billion in crypto. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's Nunya Biz.
Congratulations, Nunya.
Yeah, I love what Zimbabwean dollars or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you want to define that in
money.
So Nvidia making a little bit of a pullback in here. Did not get trailed out.
Get down.
But it looked like, you know what? It looks like it's breaking that trend.
Orders out.
I should still move. I'm just going to move this
AMD
trail if it goes here.
Is Nvidia finally going down or what?
Actually, no, I don't have to move the trail. It dipped.
Don't move anything.
It dipped right into it, bounced off of it, and keeps on going higher. So I'm not going to move the trail. I was about to move it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to move it. Just bounced right back off of this latest trend, like this consolidation here into that high, and it just bounced right off that trend line, going higher.
You know what?
For sure. Christmas is 100 billion in Jupiter coin. I don't even know what Jupiter coin is.
Yeah, don't engage.
Yeah,
this guy's trying to get you to talk about Jupiter coin
or Tron.
That's you want. You don't want to get too rich off Jupiter coin, my guy. There, we need to keep you here. All right, so about that. So we got some more out on Palantir. Like the market's falling down, Palantir's still holding up high. So to me, that's sort of, I'll take it when I can get it, because our much bigger position, like much bigger position is this guy right here, and that is AMD. So AMD now is falling back in. This is exactly the trade that we wanted. We said, remember I told you, like, we're going to look for trades that make some sense to us. We had a sloping down 50-period moving average right here, and looks like it's trying to help us out a little bit right now. So, I mean, we could get out if it breaks above 139 and change. That's obviously not enough right now. We're trying to make for a little bit of a bigger win. Our average price right here, 99, so it's not like it's a huge win at all. But we just got, we got an 84 fill or so. Now it's coming back in again. So it's going to be a pretty big trade for me here right now. That's why I'm trying to get some more out. There we go. We grab an 83 out right there on the NASDAQ gateway as it comes back in. I tend to use NASDAQ and ARCA gateways the most, and that is just be noticed by here NSB or ARCX, which I have it as ARCA book, so we can see the multiple levels down here. So ARB. Maybe if I go to something a little bit slower, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Let's go to AT&T. So you can shop basically at any of these stores. That's NY book. You might have heard of IEX before. NASDAQ is there. BATS is there. ARCA is there. Soon to be here is what Jeff was talking about there. I think it's called Moon, he was saying, their gateway there. So these are just all different gateways. So it's like no matter where you're trying to buy your Air Force Ones, you could buy them at Foot Locker, you could buy them at the Nike store, wherever you want to. That's what these are. So it's all the same amount of shares, but just distributed on different exchanges, whereby you can go and take your shares and bid and offer them, and they all pay different rates and rebates and different charges and so on and so forth. So, it's kind of like ticket scalping. These are on StubHub. This is on. I can't believe all the people that are getting scammed out of Taylor Swift tickets. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, that there's going to be scammers out there. Like, I cannot believe people would be.
We weren't scammers.
Especially, no, it's not that. It's like, I cannot, most people aren't, but it's just like, oh, thank you, Airy Pages. That was a nice lesson. Okay, well, that was good. Just a sort of impromptu lesson right there. But yeah, AMD anyways. So there it is. So we were able to take some out there on the bottom, and look at this, now coming right back in. I'm still going to try to give this a little bit higher, but before we were giving this to like this 39.20 area, the fact that we're out of some of this now, I feel more comfortable getting some now out if we can, right there on 139.25s. Like, that would be the stop. I'm really not going to change the stop. So if we break above 20, then we'll get out. So that'll be the breaker spot, and we'll try to average in a little bit closer to that 20 area. So that's what I'm going to do here with AMD. See if it wants to work for us. It was working great. Now it's coming back a little bit, but we're able to get some out. A reload spot's going to be a little bit higher for me than where we are right now.
I guess I think it's a great lesson. Like, you always, every trade, as explained, should be a lesson. Win, lose, or draw. Just why you win, where you're getting out. Like, what are you seeing in the book? But I wanted to address a question. Someone asked me in the chat if I was in Snowflake. The answer is yes. It hasn't made a gigantic move since we got in. Well, and again, this is just in my personal account. It's more of a swing trade idea. I know they report tomorrow, and I was asked, am I still in the stock? Yeah, absolutely. It was a breakout off the 50-period moving average. It made the break. It held higher. It's been slightly trending up. It did get to like 135. And that was like the first target for me. So I did have an order sitting there that I got picked up last week. I don't remember what price I got. It was like it was like 133.90 or something like that. But it was right in front of this level where I did take some up. But the plan was never to get all of it out there. And so, yeah, I know they report, but that's not really mattering for me. It's still holding the 50-period moving average. So to me, the trade is still valid. And again, for myself, it was just more of a swing trade idea. Looking for it to get to the 200-period next. And if it gets to there, take another third out and then try to hold. And then see how far it can go. All going to depend on earnings, which are after market tomorrow. Another name reporting after the market tomorrow, along with Nvidia. It's not just Nvidia, Palo Alto too. That's one I'm excited for. DV, look, there's a few people have asked about SoFi, and if it was moving, I would be either it wasn't DVDR. You're asking about SQ sympathy play for Bitcoin. SoFi, however, this one's going. And SoFi, it's done a very solid consolidation move here. It does have a double top looming here at $14.50, and we could see that breakout this afternoon. So SoFi on a 15-minute, it's not exactly $14.50. It's like $14.44, but it's already just consolidating off of that top. This one is primed to go. So you look for things that it might give you some new price levels or a breakout style trade. Like, this makes a fresh high. You slap a 10-cent stop on that, and it has a chance. Breaks 44, you get some 45, 46s. If it can make it through the 50 level, I think with a tight stop, this one looks like it has a chance to go. We're in a power hour. I don't see too many things outside of Nvidia that are breaking fresh highs. Bitcoin's not doing it anymore. SoFi 100% on the radar. But it's in the bit of a pullback here. It needs to take out that high, and not necessarily just today's, going back to that 1444 level.
So I just adjusted. We didn't get any more AMD, although it's coming back down in. Obviously, we wish we would have. I'm just going to put another bid here somewhere on BABA. 96 is actually needs to break through, and we'll get that fill. That's going to be for 10% of what we have left. And then I'm thinking of putting some more bids, which I did, and I put another one down there at 93s. So just trying to scalp out little bits, 10% as we go down in. And then I'm just going to use where we're in as our out now, because everything's come in now for us. We initially were short at the 50 period, using that as our sort of our reason to get in, and then trying to think about the reason why we wanted the short is because we're underneath this VWAP, and it's been printing, and it's been printing out well for us. You could be a lot more aggressive and just say, you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to do that as well. 87.05. Let's just capture the win no matter what. So we're out of enough now that it doesn't really matter. I mean, every trade matters. We want to try to win on them all, but at the end of the day, we were able, there it is, and then we'll get some more out there at 96. And see, you could see there, like you see how it wiped 96, but then it doesn't come on the offer. So now there's a 2 penny. So there's no excitement here. at that. Like it takes out the bid and then no one joins the offer. You know, so I think now, I mean, now it's there, but you saw what I meant there. So, yeah, not super crazy about Alibaba, but we'll take it out on the way down. And then we have another bid down here in the 80s. So that's going to be a good trade. AMD, again, just went into the low 90s again. I think we could put a bid here. Let's put a little bit more of an aggressive one. I don't have, so our best out was 80, or what was this? 80, yeah, 81s, or I'll have to look. Anyways, 81s or 82s. Hopefully it can come back in and we'll be able to get more of those fills. But for right now, I just dropped one at 91s, hoping that we could just get picked up again, and that'll be again for about 15% of what we have left. Yeah, for that. So if we can get that dip, then we'll do it. I'm getting a little bit nervous. It's 309 right now. The closer we get to the close, you know, yeah, not big earnings. I meant to get that earnings board for you, so I will. It's just, I don't know. We've seen these crazy moves at the end of the day, including yesterday. Remember yesterday there was like, I think it was 6 million on Nvidia. Something just came out from
6 million in bounce?
Yeah, Baba just ripped up, by the way. So we just got out of Alibaba. So I'll show you that in a second. Don't know what happened there. But this is the end of the day yesterday. No, that's today. Where's where's yesterday? There it is. Yeah, this is what I want to see. So yeah, we had yesterday right at the close for AMD. Nice tank there. That is 350. So AMD came with a sell. So it's just cruising, right? If you're long into this, trying to play off either VWAP or the bottom, all of a sudden 350 hits and you get a drop right there of like 70 cents in a straight line. So my fear, not that I'm fearing that it's going to drop, or I mean, if it drops, it'd be great. It's just the unknown. You know, it comes out as anything. And next thing you know, you are, you know, wrong way and there's nothing you could do about it. So there goes Alibaba. Like, look at that. One move up. Like we just got filled at 96. And then there's the move out. So that'll close the trade out for us. Hey, look, it's a positive trade. That's why we put that stop there, because it broke through our levels and really just didn't want to give anything back if and when that VWAP was taken. So there it is. Nice outside move there for Alibaba, taking us out. But thankfully, we just got out of a piece there. So we only had like 30% or so left, and then we got out 10%. So we wound up probably getting hit on about 20 to 25% of our position. And it's not a hit. It was a 3-penny win, but I'm not going to go crazy for that. And then now we'll just wait. AMD, we did get that 90 fill, so now we'll wait to see if we can get a push back in. Next order to go will be right here, 80s. I'm at 77, so I'll just adjust that, put that at 80, and then see if we get filled.
Yeah, you got to put the order out to get filled, no question about it. Nvidia just started pulling back off the 147 level. So again, it made another fresh breakout, so new trend after a fresh consolidation break. And again, I just keep moving it with a tighter and tighter stop. So you are looking like you're closing beneath that trend line. Currently stop 146.50, and we just keep on moving it. SoFi is trying to make that break of the high. It's a couple of pennies away, so SoFi has a good chance of making that high break. SMCI was the wrong decision maybe to get out there. It bounced off VWAP. It got through that $28.50 level. But see the resistance still? Like it's not really flying. Like you get the nice continuation. It's now just going a little bit, so I'll zoom in so you can see a little bit better. You get that continuation on the first fail at the 50 level, came back, trailed me out, but now you have a big vol spike and it's starting to roll back over. So what I'd look for is the spot where it was chopping it up, just underneath 28.50, look for that to hold on a dip. And if it can hold on the dip at 28.50, or maybe 28 to 40 level, then we look to see if we can't get in on SMCI. So I don't know if we'll get VWAP. It's 312. The chance of getting VWAP is slimmer, but the trail looks like it's going to come in on Nvidia. It just started going ham in the middle of the day there. And if it starts to revert, I mean, if you said 6 million yesterday to the sell side.
Yeah, it might have even been more than that.
I mean, that's the thing. And it's not
did you check the 350? It might have been to the buy side. I can't. I'm just saying there was some.
No, it definitely went down to 350.
You looked?
Oh, I don't know what the imbalance was, but Nvidia yesterday.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. As long as you looked. Yeah, I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, it went 141 all the way down to 139.5.
Yeah, perfect. So
and if that was on a 6 million sell imbalance, I'm not saying it's going to have an imbalance today, but there's an easy way to predict what's going to happen in an event like that is, well, if there was sellers at the imbalance yesterday, then just maybe be a little bit more cautious that it could happen again today, especially going into earnings on a move like this. So the trails continue to move higher. Robbie V just asked how long until MSTR splits again. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think Michael Saylor's that interested in that.
No, we'd just be guessing. I keep on thinking Netflix will be next, but whatever. You can hope for things to split, but it doesn't matter as much. I just think it makes it more interesting for everybody when it comes to options, right? It just is cheaper to get assigned, so I think that's why a lot of these names continue to do it. It's cool when you can get yourself into
that would be why, yeah.
Well, I mean, getting yourself into the Dow, you know, if you're like Nvidia, getting yourself into the Dow is going to be important. But for something like MSTR, like at this point, it would just be it's better for options and it doesn't really do anything meaningful. It's nice as a trader if you do get some of these splits, but there's a few names that I would love to have it happen to. I have no idea for MSTR. We're just always guessing when we talk about these. Sometimes it gets obvious. Like when Nvidia was pressing, you knew they were going to split because it was just getting so far up. But MSTR, I really have no idea. Another great day for Mr. Saylor. He's just winning. That rumble move, yeah, it was probably a good mean reversion trade on Rumble. Just because you tweet about should we hold Bitcoin on our balance sheet, probably shouldn't sustain the move. Lo and behold, it got to the first even dollar level and pulled back into VWAP. Every now and then. Yeah, here comes Nvidia. We're going to get trailed at about 10 cents from here if it does push.
Come on, man.
downside.
AMD's going up. Like, why is Nvidia going down?
No, it's not really going down.
It's not doing anything.
It's just a trend. It keeps on testing the same trend line, and at some point, it keeps on testing it. It's going to break it. I don't know why it's not saving my trend line today. I draw them in. I hit save.
New feature.
Not saving.
All right, so we just, like, Palantir started ripping up as well there. So we able to take it out. We didn't get the best out at 20s. We got 10 or 11s. So we'll wait to see if Palantir wants to continue to its upside. I did pull out the earnings calendar so we can have a quick little look here of what's going on. So we already have all these today. We can look at XPeng again a little bit. We talked about Walmart and sort of that I didn't know, but my prediction was it was going to be a pretty choppy day for Walmart. I think that's what it's been. All right, so tonight after hours, it'll be with me, and there is not anything. So Lazy Boy, I don't know. That's about it. All right, that's interesting. And then tomorrow, Neo, Target tomorrow morning, TJX, Wix, the website there. What are you zooming in on? Is Wingstop here somewhere? I don't know who's doing this.
That's all remain.
What are you looking at? Jack in the Box? What do you want me to show? Nvidia right there? Yeah, after the close on Wednesday is Nvidia. So here's what we got. We got Neo, Target, ZIM, Zoom Information Media, I believe, TJX, unless that's a Chinese company, Williams-Sonoma. I like Williams-Sonoma right there as well. That's going to be a good one here. Ramin, what is your favorite berry? Mine, I like blueberries, I think is a good one there. Raspberries, okay. And then at the high side, I like these names as well. You got to move up a little bit there. Palo Alto, Snowflake, and Nvidia for the big ones. And then later on in the week, I thought I would look this up. I thought Caterpillar reported, but I guess not. It's John Deere. And then maybe Caterpillar is next week, or maybe they already did. I don't know. I thought it was this week. And then Gap. I think I like Gap, and then Intuit involved in takeovers as well. So some interesting names coming this week. I don't know. Anything catch your eye that I didn't really mention there? I mean, I guess
no, you got them all.
But
yeah, you
maybe
got them all.
Pinduoduo.
PDD is probably the only one
On Thursday. Zoom back out, man. You're giving me a nice.
There's too much zooming in and out. Sometimes we just got to leave it in one
Ramin
spot.
knows what the people want, okay? If they want the zooming, they got the zooming right there. It's Brendan doing this?
No, I saw you, Fabian. How dare you try to set Ramin up?
Wow,
I have
Fabian.
a straight line to be able to see. He's in there, like, working the knot. Like,
There's some questionable behavior. There always is.
No, Pinduoduo, I think that's the one.
And control these kids, I tell you.
From a volatility standpoint, the way the Chinese ADRs have come back in, they are always a super volatile name. Like, that's a stock that, you know, if it doesn't move 10%, I will be completely shocked if we don't get a double-digit move on Pinduoduo. Trend line broken, and I'm just because I know it's going to disappear here, and then you're immediately starting to bounce. So Nvidia, trust me, it did break 146.5, and it was down at the third mark a second ago, and it's right back up to 146.5 again. But when it broke the trend, I got out, and even if I hadn't trailed out, it then closed underneath the trend line for the first time since it held this trend break. So just this consolidation trend break, first time it's closed back underneath. So I'm now out of this one. And I don't know that I have a reentry that's obvious. I mean, 145.5, although the imbalance is being a sell yesterday. 6 million does make a little bit of sense. I'm just going to cancel.
Remember, I think Nvidia was down yesterday, or?
Yeah, I mean, it moved down on the imbalance.
No, I mean down on the day. It was a bad day. So
True.
That's why. I mean, it bounced off 140. Today you have a bid on Nvidia.
I tend to think sometimes those imbalances, it's just like people are getting work done. And I'd rather lean into what it did the day before is to try to predict the price action. And again, I'm not shorting Nvidia off that. I'm just getting out of a long.
You know what?
Angelique said, look at Zim. Integrated.
Oh yeah, Zim. What? Remember? No, that's
I mean,
that
we
thing
can.
that
I mean,
I was talking about.
Yeah, they're reporting, but they're not really moving.
Integrated
today.
shipping services. Oh, okay.
I guess technically it's breaking out on the daily chart, but it's not doing anything today. So you got to wait for earnings.
Seems
Yeah,
like
it looks
they're-
good on the
they're shipping
daily.
stuff.
And anytime you're in the midst of a breakout, that's a great sign for the stock going into earnings. But until they actually report it, there's nothing doing. Up 1%, not a lot of volume. Since I pulled it up, there hasn't even been any prints on this particular name. So I'm staying away from Zim. Where did SoFi go? Yeah, even SoFi. Apparently SoFi did come all this way not to break the high. Really, SoFi? That's how it's going to be. So it's a couple of pennies away from breaking. Not an all-time high because I can zoom out and then SoFi doesn't look so good. But yeah, 52-week high at least on SoFi about to break any second now. Or maybe I jinxed it and it can't go another 3 cents to make this move.
Let's hope that it can go at least another 3 more cents, as most people are going to be long there on SoFi. Great level. New level since 2022 there. SoFi breaking through 14. We haven't been there in 2 years, so that's a good one. Okay, we are, I mean, hopefully not temporarily.
I'm reloaded.
So we just much appreciated. All right, so we'll you should have a drink of water. All right, so we'll watch out for AMD. So we just got 09s right there. So our average price is 06. I just took some out at O's. I mean, I was sitting there at O's. I don't know, what was that 97s? I think it was O's. Yeah, O's. And then so we'll take a little bit more out if we can do that. But the idea is 20s was always going to be our out. So, you know, if we could take that 10 cents, we should probably look to do that. So I am sitting at 97s right now for a little bit of a bigger piece. There it is. Give me it to me. Yes, did we? We must have got it there across. Yep, so that's good. So a little bit of out there at 97 as we just sort of get in and out of this position. You know, would like to hold. We have more shares now than we have at any point on AMD right now because that reload was pretty good. So this is why we will continue to take it out in and around this 98, 97 marker for that 10 cents or so because that's about the amount of risk. And then if I can hold like 70% for a 200 period break, that would be pretty good. So 138.83. I guess. I mean, I'm bidding 81s. I guess we can change that. So we'll have to wait for it. Maybe there is a little bit of a dip down there for sure. Quick check-in on some other names. We looked at Rivian today. Tesla's starting to go, wow, that was that 41 bottom there. Was there anything that could have indicated that that might have been the bottom? No. I mean, the 200 period was there, but that was really, wow, look at this 200 period. What is this, a 5-minute chart? Yeah, it was pretty good there. It was pretty good there. And it looks like we just, I mean, that's pretty lucky to be sitting there and getting that right there. So I don't know if anybody would have got that long. You would have probably had to play against VWAP, and VWAP was 42s. And that wick, I mean, that's $1 down. So that probably would have got some of us out for sure. So that's a risky trade. So good on you if you were able to hold that. And see, this is the difference. Like if you guys are trading options or whatever, you probably don't care about that kind of a move. Like that might not trigger anything. But for us, you know, for me anyways, that probably would have broke it. I don't know if I would have given that $1 off of VWAP, but then the 200 was there. So anyways, good hold there on Tesla. Congratulations for anybody on that one, as it's up triple the market right now. Market's up, what, half? Yeah, this is up 1.7, so great move here for Tesla today. It looks like it wants to go higher. So, hey, if this market keeps on rocking, you guys have got it. We did get that 97 fill down there, which was pretty good for us. So out of more shares there, in and around 97, right there, right at the 50 period. The next piece of out for us, hopefully, is 85s. I'm going to change that now. It's at 81. So we'll see if we can get that, and then we'll go on from there. So that's going to be my trade into the close. SMCI, I'm thinking about getting out. I mean, it's right back at 29. I mean, it's not, but it was right there. That's probably going to be a good out. Whether or not I wait for 29.30 or not doesn't really matter. And then Palantir is really starting to moon. So we'll just say props up for everybody on Palantir. Like, we were wrong when we were short, man, but then we were able to basically flatten that trade, get some out there, get the rest out, go long, go long, go long. Got stopped out when it broke. Then we were like, nah, we got to use the 200 period. Bought that back, and then next thing you know, it's a nice little upside move. So Palantir, pretty good. But it's AMD is the bigger one, and our stop on AMD is 139.20s. So we're only in, you can see it right there on the screen, 139.07. So, yeah, 3 positions.
Yeah, after getting out And I don't think SMCI. I mean, SoFi's not breaking out. SMCI we got out of Nvidia we got out of. But I just was scanning over and looked over at Mara. We know the story with Bitcoin. Mara, by the way, that was nasty yesterday. I don't know what that looked like to you guys live.
We weren't even really looking at it.
Like, what in that? Whatever. But at $20, this thing really caught fire to the downside. I guess, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was like a technical thing, but it's been trending down. I did have an earlier short on this one that couldn't get into VWAP, but now you're making lower highs and trending down. So this little local bottom here, or resistance is just above 20. I was just looking over, like, what's something which is pulling back? Because I want to see what we can make for next trade. So I got in on the offer in front of 20 even. I'm sitting at 97. I might decide to dip down to the mid-90s and just give it to that local top, room into VWAP. I'm not saying, look, this thing is probably not going to fall $2 like it did in the afternoon yesterday off the $20 level. That's insane what it did, and it was much earlier in the day. But a retracement into VWAP certainly makes some sense here, as it has been trending down overall. Just relatively, I mean, it's up 10%. But since you made that high break on Bitcoin in general, so like a 15-minute, you have had this like little pullback and you're another press lower here. Even as I said it, we just made another push. I'm gonna have to get something in the 90s if we can here on
uranium
on Mara. What do we have in here? Nimrod with the super chat, another one. Appreciate you. I know you were there in the midday. What do we got here? 75% of your portfolio are chips, AI, Palantir, Nvidia, uranium. How likely it bursts with new tariffs and InGen? I don't know what that means. Which non-tech stocks are you guys long on? Any chance Bitcoin will alter the value of gold, which won't bounce back to its highs? I feel like there's this bucket, and there's like people that are in the gold, and there's some people that have shifted. I feel like if you were made that shift, you've already done it. The biggest non-tech holding, personally, I can just tell you from my account, are Eli Lilly, Caterpillar, Walmart, the three biggest. And after that, like, I mean, there's some Canadian like ETFs and stuff that I hold, but those would be the biggest. I really like Caterpillar. I also have always liked Walmart. I think they're just a pretty good, safe stock in there. And Eli Lilly is it's been a bit of a dog. It might be coming into a buy zone, although, actually, good point. It mentioned something a couple of weeks ago about XBI. So this is a good time to bring it up. Sorry, I was just looking at CRM. XBI on the weekly, huge dip level on the, as I just said on the weekly, and I pulled up a daily chart. There is the weekly on XBI. And it's been dragged, whoops, no, it didn't change. And it's been obviously been dragged down by several names, Eli Lilly actually pulling back the most, but it just closed under the 50 on the weekly, and a big level is trying to bounce from in here. So if this can make a hold of this 90, it's about 90 to 92. If it can close above the 50 this week and regain it, that's what I'm looking for, a dip buy signal on this one. I'm not actually in it, but I do own a bunch of Eli Lilly shares. Yeah, so for me, it's Caterpillar. As I said, Caterpillar, Walmart, Eli Lilly would be the biggest non-tech three. And I really like Caterpillar. I think it's probably the safest of those three at these prices, although you can't go wrong with Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart's
it's just safe.
A big one. I mean, Uber, I guess, would be is a tech stock.
Uber, I wrote down today too after you mentioned it.
Okay, so just really quickly here. So AMD, again, like, we were able to get those outs at the 50 period. Now it's starting to go back up as I know we're out. Neil just took the Mara there out of that Nvidia, but it looks like AMD starting to go back up to the upside. So again, this will be like just basically flat trading again. Like, we'd like for this to go to the downside. And again, we've reloaded, but we haven't reloaded completely. The trade has changed. Like, we like this is the thing. About being flexible too as well, right? I mean, it's like now the NASDAQ is above the 50 period and holding and looking like you'd prefer longs right now. So it's just like we try the short here, and then now it's really been doing nothing, but things are changing. So this is why you always kind of got to look back at your positions and try to reassess a little bit on what the expectations of said trade are. So I'm going to put a bid, like even just a small one here at 03s, and see if we can get a fill down into that area, and then just try to take a little bit of this off, because although I still like the short because of the name, because the NASDAQ right here, if we do retrace back in, I feel like we have a little bit of a weaker name in AMD than the others, but you could see it just got bought back up. It tried to go back down into there. We got got like an 05, we didn't get a fill, but it went down to 05, giving me thought that maybe this could go back down. But I still want to remain the same sort of bias here. And now that we're sort of going to the upside on the market, remember we talked about this heading into the close, stocks and the market will kind of just do little more random things than we had potentially thought about. And if you're caught the wrong way, you could just drift. And I feel like that seems to be what's happening right now. Just a little bit of a drift higher, and you could see so is AMD, Nvidia, the name that we just got, or Neil just got out of. Yeah, so it's basically at that same level. So it's drifting around doing nothing. Palantir is going to be a huge trade. Like, that just continues to squeeze higher. This does have some Nvidia vibes to it for sure. 62.30. And to you, Nimrod, like if you're, I read that and kind of laughed because you're like 75% of my portfolio is in Palantir, which is the number 1 stock to own all year. It's up 338%. Your next stock you mentioned was Nvidia, up 198%. And then you mentioned C3AI, I believe. And that's, I don't know what that's.
No, it was URA.
Today, and then uranium, which we called that URA at $25.
SMR.
And now URA is at what, 35? And I saw Michael Noss talking about this yesterday. So yeah, this, you know, so if you're in all these plays, congratulations. Like there's URA down here at 25 where we were talking about it. And then there's the long, right? And then of course we have NewScale. I heard you just mentioned that.
SMR is right back at the high.
Yeah, SMR is nice, man. That's 27 bucks or so right now. I haven't got anything out. I got some out, I think, at 18, but we're long at 11 and change. SMCI right here, so it did try to pull up to 29 again. We talked about that. I'm going to put a stop if it breaks the 200 period. Remember, we are short AMD, which isn't moving, so I don't know. Maybe the traders will come and hit SMCI, or maybe SMCI will go the other way. 28.25. So I don't have a stop on this because it's just so in the money, and we've had this from the open. Remember the level that we wrote down on the sticky note? I mean, here's the time to pat ourselves on the back just a little bit again. So look where we're long. So right now we're long 25.66. I think that's close enough to the low of the day. We wrote down right here that we liked SMCI was one of our biggest trades at 26 long. So 26 long, it's at 28. It already went up to 29. So that's going to be a great trade for us. We averaged it in all the way down. We got a lot out when it popped up back up to the upside. So I feel completely fine about this one. We'll put a stop now, 28, 24s. If it breaks below that, it looks like that's going to happen. That's going to be our out right there on SMCI as crypto still 93 and 31. You can have... let's just have a quick little look here because I saw some people were saying like, what about this crypto? What about that crypto? Let's just go to the top crypto names right now.
Square is a huge sell imbalance.
Square, it's 330. Okay, yeah, I guess you're getting closer and closer to the imbalances right now. Solana, 242. Wow. I mean, I remember I haven't sold any time soon. Recently, I actually just unstaked a couple tens of whatever shares on Solana right there because I had them all staking or earning 5.8%. So I unstaked some. And so I'm getting ready to sell. You can't sell staked assets. So that's why, because you don't have possession of them. All right, so then there's Ripple as well. Ripple up 60%. The one name that I did sell was Stellar Lumens. That XLM was up huge. I don't even know where that is. And then there's Cardano, 75 cents. Like you guys want, look, other people will say, I'm in this name, I'm in that name. You guys know, if you've been watching this show for a while, let's just say 1 year at least. Like we were talking about Cardano all through the summer, all through this, all through that. Obviously, it's been here before. You know, it was here last March, or March of this year. It was here 71 cents. But this has been a pretty epic move on Cardano. And the other one was Stellar Lumens, which is XLM. For some reason, I don't know why I got into this one, but I was just looking at what this one was doing as well. Like, hello, I've owned this again from way back, and this huge move up. They were initially doing money transfer payments and things like that, and IBM was doing some deals with Stellar. So anyways, huge move. I don't know what the move is recently, but huge move up. We were able to get something out there on Stellar. So again, just a little look at the crypto space, not just Bitcoin going nuts right there. Solana at 240 is pretty nice. No doubt about that.
Yeah, the only reason I made was, before I left, was getting half of my ETH to go into Solana just to have. I was only ever, with any real size, I should just say I was only ever in Bitcoin and ETH. And then I opened up a Coinbase account when I bought Coinbase the stock. And I had a few things in there, but not for enough. But now all of a sudden, Solana I actually care about because I do hold a decent position in
It's my largest crypto holding.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, not only have.
I mean, it just happened that way.
I have other ones. Don't get me wrong. Like I do have a little bit of like for jokes. I bought some Doge. That was a while back. I was just testing out Coinbase and the interface and just messing around with it and put some Bitcoin in. Did some trading. But Solana, Bitcoin, and ETH are now 1, 2, and 3. With basically Solana might have edged today when I double checked because I was half and half, and Solana's moved better than ETH at this point. Before we go to. I think we got to handle some business a second. There is a sell imbalance here, early look sell imbalance on Block of 3.2 million shares. That's not insignificant for Square. It's only done 10 million shares on the day and used here for 1.7. So it's a bit of a weird one. It's at the highs. I mean, Bitcoin's having a strong day. It's kind of a sympathy play to that as well. So this is 100% going to be on the radar for me. If this does come out a big sell imbalance while trading off of a double top high of the day, going into 350, then I would probably take a shot to short it off with $92.50 here on Block. Great day for it today and yesterday. Like I said, it's been a bit of a sympathy play. I do own it in the long term, but it hasn't been the best stock in the world. Let's be real. Like you were better off in anything else related to crypto.
Yeah, literally.
Recently, so I'm not going to toot my horn. Like I haven't bought or sold any of this thing, and God knows how long. But we had another super chat in there. Just want to make sure I'm monitoring that. It's a big sell imbalance on Square, relatively speaking, a third of the day's volume. Out of nowhere, I checked. There's no index action. Sargil in the chat, thoughts on mRNA? Any bulls left in mRNA? I don't think so. Look, if a couple of minutes ago I called Eli Lilly sort of a broken stock, which is clearly an exaggeration. It's just that it's been really, really good, and no longer when you look at that chart does it impress me as much. I haven't done much with it. I sold 10% at 922 and done this thing with it. mRNA is truly a broken stock, and there's no hyperbole. I don't know until it shows you that there's buyers on it, why even try to guess? This looks like an EV stock. It looks like I don't know, like First Solar, or maybe one of the worst, I suppose, maybe the TAN ETF, one of the worst solar names. It's just all trend down. It's down another 6 points today. It's trying to make a bottoming pattern. Let it make a low, consolidate off that low, make another higher low, and then play to the upside. Like Snowflake stunk, and I'm not saying Snowflake is out of the woods or anything, but there's a big difference between stock trending down for a very, very long time, holding a bottom, making a higher low, and then breaking away from the 50-period moving average, where instead of just guessing when it's going to make the bottom, you'll go into it after. That's the kind of play I like. So if you show me a move like that on mRNA, I'm not opposed to jumping into a long on that stock as a trade, but man, that's ugly.
I mean, one stock that I know you're in, I know I'm in as well. You have to look at that one as Pfizer. We'll look at that when we get back. All right, e-signal right now. I mean, we talked about looking at charts. I mean, that's literally what we're just talking about. You want to trade smarter, not harder, upgrade to an elite trading experience, and you might as well do it with e-signal. Market screeners, award-winning charting tools, techniques, brokers. You can add over 50 plus brokers. Great app store. I like the infinite data, the instant trading capabilities, trading right off the platform. So easy to use. The charts, anything you're looking for, man, is available on the e-signal platform. As far as they even have anchored VWAP. We talked about that a couple times here on the show as well. So get smarter with that. Over 500 symbols you can quote at once. Like, talk about a watch list. I mean, that's a watch list bonanza right there. The charts that change the game. The back testing, I mean, if you have a strategy, this has tick charts, minute charts, second charts, 5-second charts. I should double check the 5-second chart thing, but they probably have that. Lots of opportunity. I'll do it for you right after this. Lots of opportunities, everything you need in one place. The tick replay, honestly, on e-signal, that is my favorite. You can go back and replay the whole day right there in front of you. I know that's available on a lot of platforms, but easy to use, customizable, and everything. All right, here's my Pfizer chart on e-signal. I'm going to try 5 seconds.
Yeah,
5S.
So to the point of that 5 seconds, why it matters sometimes.
It's working.
Remember when we weren't getting a couple of big breakout trades?
There you go. Yep.
Like, so you get a big breakout on Tesla, and of course, we were missing a few of those in terms of getting fills. Well, if you pull up a 1 second or a 3-second chart or something on a lower time frame, you get a better idea of where the liquidity really was and where you could have been filled had you set your stop on that 1 second chart. So it's a big deal, man. because missing out on a couple of those breakouts, you're willing to pay an extra 20, 30 cents. You just want to know where the liquidity was on the break. And if you do arm yourself with something like E-Signal and get that tick chart up, then you get those long breakouts and maybe short breakdowns like Pfizer's all-time low break.
For example, guys, where's Michael Noss at? You guys aren't charting the 200 period on a 1 second chart. I mean, look at this. Right there. Neil, can you look at that right there? 146.75.
Blam.
Here it is, blam, to the downside right now off of 146.75. So anyways, this is a 1 second chart. So look how smooth this is on E-Signal. We don't necessarily have the fat. Whoa. Okay, I better not look at 1 second charts because this is going to be, I'll be making more trades than I thought. Break back over to a 5 minute chart. Really easy to figure out. Look how easy that is coming through one more time there again. So thank you to E-Signal. And I just did a live demo right there, really easy. And what I was getting at was we're running good enough computers here, but we're not running like the fastest computers. So, definitely just easy to get. And I have tons of stuff running. I have watch lists running. I have hot lists and everything. So again, just arm yourselves, I think, with the best. I prefer E-Signal. I've been using it for a long time. So, all right, Palantir now is really mooning, like at high of day. Like market is like just chilling right now, not doing anything. And there goes Palantir again. We bought it off the 200 period. We said that we had made a mistake not buying these 200 periods, and we should have. In fact, I sold it. So right there, 62.45. I think this is worth taking something out there. AMD is not moving. I do not want to hold this for those imbalances. Hopefully the imbalances would come to the downside. Our stop is close on AMD anyways, but I think it's a good opportunity to take advantage of this move right there. We did get out of SMCI, but what's it doing now? That looks like a good play for us. Out there at 28.20 finally on SMCI. So, what was a 26 long? We had below 26. We had 25.66, so about $2.70 or so on that out, or 50 cents on that out, which seems to be a decent one. But yeah, Palantir is really the only thing left on my mind.
SoFi's not going to break.
SoFi's not going to break. Didn't you just have something?
I'm going to cancel my breakeout order in SoFi at some point.
Too late.
It's just, we're getting a little bit late in the day. We didn't actually show the Pfizer chart.
Oh.
I'm in, don't get me wrong.
No, I mean, I'm in it. I was trying to see, but that dividend is still 6%.
I mean, it's still, it tells you
juicy,
it's like 160, call it 6.5%. Just napkin math there. Because it tells you on this, like the quarterly dividend's 42 cents, so call it $1.68 on a $25 stock, so 6.5%. Something like that. But that's because the stock's been getting moked. So if you chase dividend, then when the stock performs poorly, then the yield is better. Not necessarily a good thing. The only good thing. I was
explaining that to Obi the other day.
Yeah,
don't want to chase yield.
No, you
100%. For a reason.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you can call it, and this was the point of the chat. I don't like getting into the politics of it, but we shouldn't ignore the fact that mRNA is stunk, Pfizer is stunk, and RFK doesn't like these former types of vaccines.
It's called RFK does not prefer science.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, and these stocks have been pretty ugly since.
He's made. I mean, that's
the election. So it's not
when you're like a vaccine stock and you get the HHS that doesn't believe in vaccines. It's not good. Yeah, it's not good. It's not to say.
I own some shares still of this thing, and it's been a dog, but I'm not touching it. I mean, at the end of the day, like I did sell some, and I haven't really bought back in, and this is the level. If you go all the way, I zoomed this weekly chart too far out, so let me just. There you go. If you look. This was about $27, $28 at that COVID bottom. Like, you're underneath that. And then the recent low here is at 25. Like, this is, like, it's like Alamo time for a stock like this. Like, for it to be underneath there, and there have been some hiccups. I get it. They failed in the GLP sense. Maybe they need to make an acquisition there. There's a lot that I guess they could do, but it is nasty for Pfizer and not looking good. Yeah, they pay a yield, but that's just softening the blow at this point. It kind of holds you up. That's all it's really doing, right? Like, you don't want that to be the reason you're in it. And I just feel, and someone was asked in the chat, like, well, what about BMY, this and that? For me, I'm going to try and keep it simple in that space. I own UNH. That's a different thing in healthcare, and it's going to be XBI, and then it's going to be Eli Lilly at some point. Eli Lilly doesn't look that much better either. Eli Lilly, and we didn't show the chart of that one on the daily either, but it's not as if this one is it's not all peachy keen with Eli Lilly's daily chart, under the 50, under the 200, 700 is a really big key level of support in there. I'm looking for it to bounce, and if it can bounce, hold 700, make a rounded bottom, then I'd look to buy Eli Lilly. Otherwise, let it fall. I mean, if it wants to drop to 700 level, 500, like 550, 500 to 550 is a for sure go zone for me on this stock. It was a long consolidation off of that price. Now that it's lost its previous long consolidation under 700, I wait for it to drop, and I'd load up at 550 on Eli Lilly. I don't think it gets there, but if it did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big move down. I mean, BMY, yeah, BMY had a good schizophrenic drug there.
Yeah, they're better right now.
AbbVie missed, so on their phase 2 trial. So that's why BMY is going one way, and then check out AbbVie going the other. I'm just watching this AMD. We're like 10 cents away now from getting punched out to the upside. I mean, it's trying to, just keeps on, like, look at this. Look at AbbVie, like, yeah, the downside. There it is. Actually, that pretty much hits at the right spot there. Yep, right
Almost
down there. What, come on, guys, you're not going long at 150? So yeah, right down there. Good spot maybe for AbbVie as well. Huge fall on their miss. They missed on, I think it was 2 aspects of their phase 2 trial. And that, although BMY has, I think they're already, the problem was Bristol Myers with their schizophrenic drug has already passed these trials. So, and then when AbbVie got the bad news, BMY also got the other way around. So 54 up to 60 because, haha, we got it and you don't. And then you had to move down, and that was just an awesome buying opportunity because you should have bought BMY right here at $56 on that pullback over the weakness into last week, especially on that panic of RFK. So we'll have to wait to see if that's a thing. Remember the thing about RFK and not just that, but that Gates guy and everybody else that's involved is the fact that they have to be confirmed.
Yeah.
So I know it's a little bit easier with the control that the conservatives have and so on and so forth there. Most likely things will get confirmed, but at the end of the day, still need to. And I know especially with some of the representatives, there is a little bit of room for concern. So anyways, I just wanted to say, like, another aspect of some of these names getting bumped back up could be the fact that at the end of it, maybe they all don't get, and that's why we're talking about XBI, maybe they don't get confirmed, and we go a different way with the leadership of the HHS and so on. Yeah, just a little bit of a talk there. I like the stock. I've recently bought more XBI because I was buying it at $100, man. I mean, I liked it up here breaking. I don't have anything above 100, but you guys remember we were in at this 97, 98 marker. Then it tried to break above there, and now we'll take an opportunity to buy more right now. So I've actually bought more today, so we'll wait to see where XBI goes now. But again, I like the stock, just danger zone ahead.
And I have nothing against, I'm not giving up on Pfizer. It's just if I'm buying something, like I already said, it'll be Lilly and it'll be XBI. I've kind of moved on from the other stocks. Pfizer had a good run, and if something dramatically changed with it, I don't mind. But I got to shout out to Brad the Baker. Brad the Baker, oh my goodness.
What's he baking?
And
was he baking up?
The amount of gelato I had, I know it's not baked goods,
Gelato
but my
o'clock, I told you that.
And then for me to drop a couple of apple fritters today, it's a problem. I drank a lot of wine too, so I got to start working out again. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you to the whole TV Live team. Thank you as well, all the viewers, for watching. Here's $50 for coffee and donuts for tomorrow morning.
Well, hey, attention, Brendan. I mean,
that's
now we've got it. Ramin, there you go. We've got it, man. This is for tomorrow's donuts. No, we'll get it on coffee, man. We'll get it on coffee, and we'll do that.
But I got to read the rest of this.
Knee amputation.
I got to read the rest of this because this is unbelievable. Been in the hospital the last 3 weeks and have LL below knee amputation this Friday. I've learned so much. Him's in the money today because of what you guys have taught. Thank you, Sean and Neil. Thank you for viewing. All I got to say is spirit up, man. I love the positivity, no question about it. You have a whole community behind you. We got the whole chat's going to be behind you to make an awesome recovery for that. So we all wish you the absolute best. We have a great community in here, and I know everyone's going to throw some support at Brad the Baker. Make sure all goes well.
I love that.
I mean, at the end of the day, the fact that you have a positive attitude going into it, that's what you need, man, because I can already tell that you're going to be a fighter. So good luck to you, sir, and thank you so much. I'm humbled by that. I'm humbled, to be honest, by just how positive you are, because that's obviously a big deal. So shout out to you, Brad the Baker, and shout out to all of our community. We appreciate you.
We sure do. Thank you, Brad, for that one, and we will get some coffee tomorrow. All right, so AMD right there. Yeah, we got stopped out. It broke through. 25 was the stop. So we're talking about 20s. We didn't take out 20. We took out 25. But there it goes up to the upside. So at the end of the day, I mean, the idea. Don't want to knock over my water there. The idea was fine, but at the end of the day, it goes up and doesn't go down. So if you were short, it's a fail because it does not go the way that I thought it would. All right. Well, we've been holding on to this one, and this continues to go to the high of the day. There's only now and again, like we talk about getting in and out of these positions. Part of it is just not to hold it against what's about to happen in 1 minute. So I don't even see square on there. I don't even see square on here, so it must have got paired off. So we'll wait to see what's going through. I'm going to change this over so that we can get NASDAQ and NYSE. So there we go. So as of 3:50, which is now going to be in 50 seconds, all of these will update. But look at
Square's gone.
So I know that's what I was saying. Square's still
that's annoying.
gone. I'm going to take an opportunity to get some out at 60 here on that one, and then we'll wait. So there it is. Nice move to the upside right there. Coming back in. BAC. So these are just all names from 9:30. So we still got to wait just a couple more minutes to see what's going on. I'll keep this down here for now. And then just call up to see what's Nvidia doing because AMD is going up. So
147.
yeah, 147. I mean, this is great. The all-time high for this is 149.77. So like I said, tomorrow gets all-time highs and then we'll have the report. I mean, how much worse can it get, honestly? Like, you don't want to report at all-time highs. I don't know what else to tell you, but I've already called 175. So we'll see. 3, 2, and 1. All right, here we go. Update, my guy. All right, there it is. Intel's with a sell. Apple. So there's nothing on. Nothing on of any importance right now. Apple with a little bit of a bid, like nothing in the millions, right? I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Tesla, I mean, a little bit of a bid. You can see the reaction in the stock. Nice little upside move there into 346. There's Berry. We talked about them reporting tonight. That's Raspberry. For Ramin, we talked about that as well. Intel with a nice downside move potentially there with NAP not even moving. I was going to say 1.3 million. So, Walmart, I guess. Okay.
Not much.
Down again. Remember I said this morning, I mean, it's right on the stick, Walmart will be very choppy today. I said if you can get the high, that'd be great. For a short, that's exactly what came in. If you get the low for a long, that's exactly what came in. So, yeah, I feel stupid about that because we should have been all over that one. We should have had the high and the lows there of Walmart. All right, here's AMD. Didn't do anything. So, yeah, we were all nervous hands about this move. I guess it does go up to 40s, but now the fall in happens for AMD and not much. So we were stopped out basically at this level. So AMD, you can see right here, there's the stop out. So in, we average in at 20s, out there at 25s break. So little 5-cent hit there right at the very end of the day. So would I stay short AMD? Yeah, I don't have, I mean, ultimately, I feel like the short for AMD is 140. So until we break above 140, I know that's 140.50, but that's the rough area right there that we're looking at for AMD. I think it's a little, you might want to do it for one more day. I wouldn't want to be short with Nvidia earnings, that's all.
Trio Maurice just asked, would you short Intel going into AMD? It's Nvidia that's reporting. So I feel like, Intel is doing its own thing. I think AMD's more sympathy to Nvidia than Intel might be, but Nvidia is going to move the entire space, realistically. But Intel to me is like a short till it's not. So I don't necessarily disagree with that. I will say this, and I wanted to thank you, palm trees and good vibes. Getting out of Nvidia, it just continued to trend, but at some point you had to get out. Welcome back. Hope you had a great vacation with the family. It was a great vacation. What I can tell you is, I loved Paris. But the beauty of Rome, just from an aesthetic standpoint, I got the lucky. First of all, I'm the worst photographer in the absolute planet, bar none. I'm the worst. But we lucked out on our second last night to be able to get a moonrise overseeing, and I got a few decent photos of it. But I am telling you, you get any elevated view of Rome, and it is one of the most gorgeous things to look at because you see the domes on all the churches. It's something else. My biggest disappointment with Rome is the fact that it is impossible to do the Vatican in one day. Literally, it's just, there's so much, it is overwhelming how much, just history they've got. The Vatican Museum is complete insanity. You go from, every room,
Rome has history, my
guy. There's just so much. It's okay, by the time
we did it in one day.
But I know, we did, but we got to the Sistine Chapel, and I felt oh my goodness, I've just been overwhelmed. I wanted to spend more time seeing some of it, but you're kind of like rushing through so you can get to the Sistine Chapel. And my foot was killing me. That was the other point because it's still a lot of walking.
Yeah, there is a lot of
Like
walking.
it's gorgeous, but man, like the uneven rock. Oh goodness.
Villa Borghese, the park there, that has the best. I don't know if that's where that view is. I should show you.
I forget the name of that.
Yeah, there's
hill.
donuts in Rome. There's a lot of donuts in Rome. Trust me.
But no, I was having gelato.
Oh yeah, of
more
course, man.
gelato.
I told you. Every time the clock
Oh, yeah.
strikes anything, it's
Gelato
gelato
o'clock.
o'clock. I mean,
It didn't
we already gone over
It could
that.
be freezing cold, and there was a couple of colder days. I didn't care. Gelato. I had a lot of great pasta, some great wines.
So what was the flavor of gelato?
So first of all, my daughter has eyes bigger. I mean, like all kids, eyes bigger than her stomach. So she wanted every single type of chocolate that they had. I didn't bother ordering because she'd ordered like twice as big. She got this gigantic cone. I'm like, Aaron, you were gonna eat this much of it, like 20%. Right. So I knew I was finishing the rest of it, so I didn't bother. So I was eating a lot of different types of chocolate gelato because that is hands down her favorite, like double chocolate this and fudge that. So it was a lot. We had a lot.
Yeah, a lot of chocolate there.
I didn't have any cannolis. That was the huge disappointment.
Oh, you didn't have any there?
That was a fail.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of bakeries there. You could have got that. What's up, Nimrod? Thanks for everything. You need the confidence to keep the teaching and wondering. Thanks for the confidence to keep the tech. Oh, and was wondering whether or not to sell Walmart. Yes, I would say yes. So very timely. Check Brad's donut with a post. Nvidia earnings drink. There we go. Oh, chug. Oh, check Brad's donut. Okay, with a post. Maybe that's supposed to be chug. With a post Nvidia drink. Yeah, I mean, that would be really, really nice.
100%.
Neil, teach the afternoon shift how to say Nimrod with a straight face. Those guys, that's just Sharif, man. I mean, the guy is, the guy's...
They're just having
the guy says Ram, yeah, 14, I think it was 1,400 times today. So, those guys are having a lot of fun on the midday show. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you for the super chat again. And look, the only reason I'm saying sell Walmart is just because it's been up so huge. It's up 65% year to date. And again, I don't, whoa, yeah, that's right. We have to do the split. It's just been a huge move. So I don't if you're overweighted tech, which you obviously are, you don't need to sell it. But I just think that's a nice move, man. Up to that $88, $89. Walmart is now the most expensive it's ever been, and it's not even close. So if you do some research there on the numbers and what the valuation for Walmart is, it is well outclassed anywhere where it's been before. But again, times have changed. Right now, you have online merchandise. Online selling, which is the margins are way different. So, yeah, good call there. There, Market Sniper. I mean, some people in the chat sold all my Walmart, all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's facts about Ram. Yeah, it sure is. And then now SMCI now is a buy imbalance. So, yeah, all right, there we go. We'll figure it out as we go on. But thank you everybody for that. And Mara will jump 30%. I mean, right now, Bitcoin's actually turning around pretty aggressively now. It's not that it's aggressive, but I mean, look at the chart. There it goes, man. I mean, there's the break right there of the 200 period. It held it all afternoon, and then there's the break, and then there's the move down. So, yeah, IBIT not going to be red, but giving back a lot of what it had hit already earlier 2 days. So what's the market even doing today? 0.6 right now.
Up is up.
Up is up. Apple just turned red. Okay. Costco. I love Costco. Move forward on that one. So I'm flat. I don't have any other positions. Let's check on what AMD
that is
did.
high of day as well. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, Nvidia is going to be the real winner. I mean, Palantir, we cleared that out at the high. I mean, that was a great trade there. Palantir is not giving up, it doesn't look like. And then Nvidia pulling back, but then now going to close in and around the highs of 147. So do I think BTC coming back to retest 90K? Yes, I do, I think. And do I think 85K? I think 88,000. Talk to me on the recap show. I'm going to be there in just 3 minutes. So, yeah, join me there. We should have Brian on today. Not too many earnings. We'll do our best to talk about everything. So, all right.
Mr. Shannon in the house.
He'll be in the house.
Yeah, and I put it in the chat. SMCI with a small buy and balance. It kind of came out of nowhere, but when I was looking at it, it wasn't really doing anything. So there's sometimes you get like at 355, a stock that didn't have an imbalance, it'll do a bit of a flip, but it did try to bounce off, I'll zoom it in for you. It did bounce off 28 for a move, like 20, 30 cents, and came right back in there. But that was this big volume spike after the imbalances came out was the imbalance flipping to a buy side, or at least growing to a buy over there on SMCI. 31% day. Remember, they got themselves a new auditor. They have a bit of a reprieve. They're still not out of the water, but they have a plan to regain compliance and be able to file their annual report. which they were delinquent on, so that gives them a temporary reprieve. So it's getting reviewed by the NASDAQ and the relief rally on this. I don't know how far it can go, but everyone's seen how far the stock did drop. So we'll see what happens there. Hoy in the chat saying Reddit's up 6%. Yeah, for sure, strong move for them. But I just wanted to double back if I could. Like Nvidia, it just keeps on going. There was, again, the imbalances coming in there, but another press right back toward the highs. It had pulled back off 147, was down at 146, and then boom, right back retesting the 147 level. The buyers have been really strong on this one for sure. So shout out to all the longs on Nvidia. You really only wanted to be long this stock. I feel like it could have been better. I'm not mad. It was my best stock today, but there were some missed opportunities. Like there was a missed opportunity to regain 142.5, which is our original price we like long, and there was a missed opportunity to get in somewhere here in the middle of the day. Right after we finished lesson of the day, there was that last dip, and we should have been buying the 143.5. You can always do better, but it's easy to tell the missed opportunities in Nvidia, because if it presents you the price you like before in a consolidation, you got to have it, and if it presents you this in the middle of the day, when it's a rocket ship and you want to buy those dips, this is the one. We got earnings for them tomorrow, but you're going to have Mr. Shannon and Mr. Katina on the aftermarket, which is in about 20 seconds, because I don't know who's ringing that bell. I could throw something if you want, but I don't want to throw anything because I don't want to break anything. So let's drop the countdown as the closing bell brought to you by WorkSport. Shout out to them. Scan the QR code below and get their investor deck brought to you by WorkSport. Ring it now, Ramin. And the market is closed. Good day for the NASDAQ, 0.6. That's all right. 0.3 for the ES. The real story, Nvidia, almost 5% to the upside. I'm telling you, it was a banner day for them, but believe me, they were not alone. When you look at what was up today, the crypto names were strong. ARM with a good day, SoFi with a good day, 3%. Netflix with a 3% day as well. Palantir with almost a 3% day. Tesla, a couple of points to that upside. So it was a big one. MSTR had an absolute banner day as well. Although it did pull back at the close here, still up 12%. All-time high got hit on Bitcoin. MSTR made a power move. Big shout out to everyone in the chat, and I just want to again give the entire community, which is a great community, all of our best wishes to Brad the Baker, man. You're going to absolutely, we know you're going to make a great recovery there. You got a lot behind him. I love that positive attitude. That's what you're going to need for sure. So shout out to you. Shout out to the entire team, Fabian and Ramin on the ones and twos. We had Andre a little bit doing some switching this morning. I see he has the headphones on and working hard. It's one of those. The guy always has headphones and is focused. Of course, big shout out to the midday crew, Joseph and Sharif killing it like they always do. Brendan back on the desk, filling in for Adara, who is going to be back in a couple of days on that news desk. And hey, I got to give a big personal shout out to our good friend Obi. We're filling in while I was on vacation. So shout out to Obi. He always kills it. But you know what you got to do right now, which is sit back, chill, relax. We can send it right back on over to the desk. All you got to do is sit around, and you got the market recap. You've got Sean, and you've got Mr. Brian Shannon, our guest. So stay tuned.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, not too many earnings today. I like that toque, though, Ramin. I like the pink little look there. Yeah, try to match Joe. Joe had the gray yesterday. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, see, distractor, almost get her on. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks, Brad the Baker, Nimrod, everybody that's super chatted us again here today. I'm Sean Katina, and we're going to do the market recap show. Again, I have Benzinga Pro in my ear, so any sort of earnings that fly through, we'll get them to you, and we'll try to talk about them. But not too much on watch here today as far as earnings are concerned. So we'll have to sort of hold out for that. I'll get the earnings map for you in just 1 second, and then we'll figure out where and what is looking like we want to report on, right? And so, all right, this is your show. Here's the earnings map right here. What to look at tonight. After market, we will wait right now for Powell, AZEK Company, Keysight, ZTO, Lazy Boy all coming through, Dolby. The big one today, Walmart. We'll review that in a couple of seconds. Lowe's. We actually didn't get to talk too much about Lowe's today, so we'll have a look at that as well, and Workhorse. So that's kind of what we're looking for here into the close. Of course, tomorrow, get ready for that. It's going to be a big one with Nvidia, Snowflake, Palo Alto. If only those three, those are big portfolio monsters. Maybe not Snowflake, but definitely Palo Alto. You have two best of breeds there. So I love best of breed names, the best names in their space. best of breed. And you had today with Walmart and then tomorrow with Target. Very, very similar there as well. So thanks you to Earnings Whisperer for putting that together. Okay, today, let's just go over what was moving around today. So we'll talk about the big guy there, the Qs. The Qs wind up today up 0.73. VKTX presenting results right now. VKTX with something out. Viking Therapeutics, not VKTX, not K, right now coming through. All right, there's Viking. Nice little move to the upside right now. Not too much, 51 to 52.50 for VKTX. Just hearing in my ear, something going on with Viking. It's been a bad let's call it month for Viking. I mean, this was up not even a month, actually pretty close. That was $80. Viking Therapeutics, some very, very bad news. I guess it was trial results there. Came back in, down to $50. Again, another name that I know there's a lot of traders involved with, VKTX, downside push. But we just got a story there right now from Viking. Oh, it was, okay, I better break the story right now to you if I do see it. Here it is right here from the Benzinga platform. Viking Therapeutic presents results from phase 2 voyage study of VK2809. So biopsy confirmed, blah, blah, blah. You guys can go find that story. Again, look, we do the show without any, like there's no producers in our ear telling us the story. So we just see what we see and we see price action. And right now, VKTX downside and downside pretty aggressively down to $49 right there. So we'll find out what's going on with VKTX. Won't halt in the after hours for a move, but could halt news pending. It looks like we get that news right now as well. Okay, look, uranium. What I want to get at today was Qs. So quickly here, Qs. Let me look up a 3-minute chart just because it sort of bodes well for this. We started the day off looking like we wanted to go downside. There was the downside take that actually tricked me pretty good, and that was back into Friday's low. I thought we were going to take that out. Doesn't happen, and we wind up getting hit on that short. But then the rest of the day, the NASDAQ basically just kept on going upside, right? This is a 50-period moving average right there, the pink line. We really absorbed that all day and basically closed at the highs. Why did we close at the highs? Well, a name that we should have maybe looked at for weakness at the end of the day was Apple. That pulled back in, so that's not helping the market out. Basically flat on the day. NASDAQ up 0.7. Apple flat. So watch out for that. I know Sharif was talking about some 230s. I don't know if his price was 230, but that's the high of the day. I believe Sharif got out of some. He was talking about it today. So again, great trade for him, but it looks like 230 might have been the high there on AAPL. And look at this. Right there, 230 came into play one more time. I don't know. I think we get higher. Every time I sell Apple shares or Palantir or Nvidia, the end result is it goes higher. So, hey, Davis, yeah, we are a one-man show today. It feels like the old days, right? We used to do this by ourselves for a minute. Now we get Adara normally, and then Neil and I will switch that up. We also do have on watch today Brian Shannon coming through very, very soon. And I see a lot of you talking about IBIT. Today, IBIT gets option eligible. So now you can start to trade this name. If you get aggressive on Bitcoin, you can go over here and trade IBIT with options. And we've seen what can happen with Bitcoin, right? If it wants to get going, now we can get in cheaper. Like now you can get in and start to create that sort of effect with people having to go in there and add to their portfolios. If we could buy some Bitcoin with IBIT, therefore whoever's managing this, which is iShares, will have to go in there and start to offset that position by buying more Bitcoin. So there it goes, IBIT today, a nice move higher. I know Joe had that. I gotta go get my water, which is on my desk. But I know Joe had this name. It was a nice run up at the beginning of the day into mid-afternoon. And then we had that drop. And again, I'm gonna call up Bitcoin in a minute because we'll have a quick look at that. We can also look at Ethereum. Ethereum's been disappointing to say the least. I mean, here's ETH. We can look up ETHE. We can look at all this. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's not the greatest play here. I mean, Ethereum has really been chilling out. This is a daily chart for them. Sure, the move was 2,400. I mean, this is, again, on election, right? This is November 6th. Huge move up, just kept on going. So it does have a move in it. There's no doubt about that. 2,400 up to 3,400 top. I mean, that's a monster move right there. That's almost 50%. But now it's kind of hanging out. What about if we get a break of Ethereum right now? That has to go all the way past $4,000. So there's a little bit of an opportunity there. I don't think this is being treated the same as Bitcoin because it's not looked at as a store of value. You can actually build on the chain with smart contracts. That's what Ethereum is. is, very close to Solana as well. Cardano you can also build off of. So some other competition there coming through for them. No competition whatsoever for BTC though. If you want to own Bitcoin, guess what you got to own? Bitcoin. So that's going to be a problem for anybody that's short, because BTC, again, from election movement right there, that's 20. Oh, is that what it's telling me? 24%? Yeah, that's nice. So right there, that's 25% lower right there for BTC. So we have a nice 25% move since election day, and now ticking near the highs. So again, you see what IBIT, some of the action that can happen there. Couple positive days right now with its big one today, and no surprise there as we get option eligible there for IBIT. Again, just talking about some of the movements that's been in the market today. Walmart, great report, right? I mean, we saw Walmart's report today, and I had actually written down on the sticky note that I didn't think Walmart would be. Fabian, do you mind grabbing my water? It's just on the desk there before you get out of here. That would be great. All right, so Walmart's move today, again, a pretty good one based on where we were coming from. Full year guidance growth higher right there from 4.8 to 5.1%. Thank you, my guy. Wow, this guy's doing everything over here. And again, EPS of 0.58, so 58 cents EPS, also beating expectations. Shares up nearly 60% year to date. But look what Walmart did, right? We said it would be choppy, up only 1.68% in the last 21 hours. Okay, but nice upside move there for Walmart. Does hit the pre-market high of 88, but now fades right back in. We wrote down $85 as an area to look at. That looks like that came in for Walmart there, but it came in the pre-market off that fake bottom in the Qs and the ES. So nice little move there for Walmart back in. We talked about the Qs today, but we didn't really look too much at the SPY. So let's figure out what's going on with the spiders there today. Up 0.44. Nice move. If we flip over to the daily, still hanging out near the highs, right? For the spiders, SPY, we've seen some strength holding JP Morgan and some of the bank names recently, still trying to hold up near highs. So the bank XLF continues to be a super strong ETF to own as well. You know what's back, man? We had on Friday, I think Peter Schiff, was that Friday? He came through, talked a little bit about gold, and ever since then it's been upside. I've been looking at some GLD right now. Maybe get that into your portfolio. Has a move down the same way that we experienced with Trump. There's basically November 6th is right here, and then there's the drop down. So you're at 252, 253, creating all-time highs just before the election. Then we get to the downside. You know a name that I like that I've recommended here that had a nice move up that is now pulling back in? What about Nucor, one of the largest steel producers in the world, makes a move back in. Look at this jump there on Trump election, and then right back in, coming back right to where we were before. Bad earnings, right? The earnings send this name from 160 down to 140. If we're going to be building American again, big, huge American company. It's Nucor, huge steel name, and it's not done that well this year. If I look at this from year to date, right there, down 17%. I believe there's some value coming through on Nucor, but again, down because we had such huge movement there this year. So again, I like Nucor here for a steel play. There's steel ETFs, they're all over the place, but at the end of the day, I like Nucor. I think you can get it, also a dividend involved with that one. XLE, as we wait to see if there's going to be any sort of a pushback here with the new presidency. He's talked about sort of trying to end all this global strife. Good luck. But at the end of the day, oil and XLE continues to march a little bit higher, but that's actually not true as oil hovering around. That's USO. OIH, the oil holders, again, much different than XLE, which is more the services. And we can break that all down, who's in this and who is not, simply by looking at the sector recap page that's provided to you by Trade Ideas. So today we had FXI to the downside again. For me, we traded Alibaba. That was a pretty good trade for us today. But at the end of the day, Alibaba, look at this pullback in this name. Tech names have been really good so far. Alibaba and some of the Chinese names downside. We've seen some strength in names like PDD because of the retail aspect. But honestly, man, Alibaba continues to fly down. A big story that north of the border, or not north of the border, that would be Canada. But here was SMCI, if we bring it back to the United States. That move again today, they get BDO. to come in as their auditor, and that basically solidifies the fact that they will have something to show the listers and will be able to stay listed there on the NASDAQ as they can show the regulators that here's our report, keep us on, and that looks good to me. We still haven't heard anything, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, I don't think we've heard anything about them coming out of the S&P 500. You know, I mean, that's going to be something that's going to have to happen, I would think now, based on performance alone. SMCI gets added to the S&P 500, and it could be the next one to get delisted. So we'll have to wait to see here as we wait on SMCI. Big moves up. Maybe we can talk to our good friend Brian Shannon there, because, I mean, if we're going to drop some, I mean, I guess on the daily, we don't really want to drop too many anchors. I mean, look where we are from right now. Yeah, any anchor we drop would be higher than where we are right now. So we're going to try to find out. I'm going to ask Brian. Stay tuned just a couple minutes when Brian Shannon comes on of Alpha Trends. We'll ask him what he thinks about SMCI and what we can do as maybe a level to watch out for. In my opinion, I don't think you really want to test the waters until maybe, and it's a ways away from here, but that 50-period moving average, if I zoom in a little bit, can I zoom in a little bit? There it is right there, is $40. So I'd like to see us retake that area. I mean, that bottom was $17. What was Intel's bottom? You know, Intel's actually had a nice move back up to, I thought it was 17 as well. Maybe it was 19 right there. That seemed to be a good little level there. Remember, we had Brian on and he drew a 40-year anchored VWAP or something like that. And that actually indicated in and around, I think it was 17 or 18. But now Intel, again, good report. Upside makes that move into 26 and now fading back in. But what we're all here for is tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow at this time, you're going to have Neil on the show. Dara's back on Thursday, so she'll be back with me on Thursday. But Nvidia's coming, man. And I mean, look at this line, this trend line right here. Absorb that 92, absorb it again at 105. So dip by opportunity possibly into 125, 127 would sort of confirm this move. That's also where the 50-period moving average is. I've stamped on this. We just saw the implied move of over 8% for Nvidia. So if you get an 8% move on a $147 name, you're going to add to that about $12 or so, which puts it at 160. So, you know, 160 clears that top. The only thing is, some of these names that have beat and raised and taking out 52-week highs, we've had huge moves in some of those names. So I feel like Nvidia could just be one of those again. If we get a beat and we get a raise, then where exactly are we going to go? I just think it's upside. And then what are the shorts going to do? They're going to have to cover, if there is any short. What is the short float there? 1%, not a big short float for Nvidia. But what about when they beat and raise and you get that double beat? Then you get sky's the limit, 8%. I think we can go more than that. We'll figure it out right now. So we are getting something right now. Lazy Boy, what is that symbol? LZB. That report just came out. I'll check the chat if there's anything right now before we go over to Brian, because I see that he's going to be waiting. If there's any sort of name that you want me to check, put it in now, because we didn't have a big earnings bonanza here today. So there's Lazy Boy. Adjusted EPS of 71 cents, beating 64 cents. Sales of 521 million versus 504. So it looks like it's going to beat all over the place. Top and bottom line there for Lazy Boy. What does it look like? It doesn't look like it wants to move too much here. What does it look like on the daily chart? I mean, that's not horrible, right? On the daily chart there for Lazy Boy. Looking to take out 44. Pretty healthy chart coming through right now. All right. BJ's Wholesale, did they report today as well? Maybe. So here, we'll have a quick look at that BJ's Wholesale. Someone put that in the chat. Yeah, downside move there into today. So no report right here after hours. And that's about it, man. Oh, AZEK, I saw them posting a little bit there. So that nice move up here for AZEK company as well on the report. So, you know, there's not too much coming through the market right now other than some names that maybe we've seen today. Let's have a quick look at our heat map and then we'll call on Brian. So right now today, over 5% for Nvidia. I mean, bang. What a move for Nvidia. I mean, we just sort of talked about that. It just kept going and going. It's like the Energizer Bunny, man. Is that what powers those Nvidia chips, by the way? Maybe it's Energizer. Amazon, a nice little recovery there, up 1.4%. So that continues to move higher there for Amazon. Walmart, that 3%. We like the retail space. A good cover there for Walmart today. We said, wait, maybe Walmart's a little full up there near $88. I mean, again, good push through for Costco as well. As retail staying pretty hot. The only thing about retail is the XRT. Again, if you look at the XRT, ETF here, it is equally weighted. So it's not like, although it has Amazon in it, Walmart and Costco, you could see the action here. Although it's really nice, right? Up 34% in 1 year. The year to date on this thing since January 1st is only 8%. So it really hasn't moved like some of the other names. So XRT, very, very choppy. To me, this is a sideways play. Not super interested in XRT. And of course, I'm going to come on here and Brian's going to be like, he loves XRT. So we'll see about that. Tesla up 2% today as well. Some downside plays continue in the healthcare technology space with J&J downside today. mRNA as well. Eli Lilly trying to hold green up 0.35. So that's going to be relatively flat for them. Merck downside, Abbott Labs downside as well. Funny to see Berkshire down 0.71 today. That's a name that I kind of like. I like it for what it means to insurance and things like that if you want to get a little bit more diversified in your holdings, Berkshire. And I was able to get some of this dip down there. We talked a little bit about that, as this is a name that I'm trying to get into. I don't own many ETFs, but I do like Berkshire. All right, thumbs up. 1 minute. We got 1 minute to go, and we'll get ready to go with Brian. So coming through, any questions you have, put them in the chat. We'll try to get them. Bears versus Bulls. If you do have any questions for Brian, give them to us, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer them. We know that he doesn't like China. We're not going to ask him about that one. And then IBIT today, just a quick look to see if anything's happening in the after hours right now with IBIT. Yeah, it looks like it wants to maybe make a little bit of a downside move right now for IBIT. All right, enough of me. Let's bring on the real traders. It's Brian. Mr. Shannon, how are you doing today?
John, you're the real trader. What are you talking about?
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think hopefully we've got a couple traders here, and that's what people are watching for. So thank you, Brian, for coming on. And what a wild week it's been for sure. And tomorrow we kick off, well, I guess maybe we end it sort of earnings season with the biggest name. And I guess there's a few more earnings to come through in the retail space. We could talk about Walmart today, but Nvidia comes tomorrow. And I know you're not the same kind of a trader, obviously, that I am here on the day, in and out, probably. If I showed you the chart of Nvidia, I probably have 50 fills today. But what a move at the end of the day. You and I have talked about it, but we always have new viewers. What's your philosophy of maybe holding on to positions into earnings, especially big ones like Nvidia tomorrow?
I think with Nvidia, it's a different kind of story. I mean, it is the market leader here, so the market is dependent on what is going to happen with Nvidia. And most people, I think, are holding this thing in their investment accounts. They have large profits. That I wouldn't be concerned about it. We're in a huge uptrend, so at some point, as an investor, you've got to take some overnight risk, and this is the type of stock you want to take that overnight risk with.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. I mean, I was saying to everybody, and this is to take something from Jim Cramer, and it's his sentence, but it's hold, don't trade. I mean, if you believe in the stock, you kind of just got to throw the valuation aside, hold it, see what winds up happening. I like that there with Nvidia. We've talked about China before. I'm going to pass on that. Alibaba continues to go to the downside, so we're going to forget about it. Anything interesting on your radar right now? We had a lot of traders. What do you want to look at? Let's go to Alibaba then.
A moment, and I'm not. I mean, as I said, I just don't trade them. Because you look at these gaps and the crazy news.
Right.
And China is known as a manipulator, and I don't know if that's their game here, that they just manipulated the whole market. But if you look at all those hedge funds that just went, huge long. I think Paul Tudor Jones, maybe I saw, was in there as big buyer. Tepper was a big buyer of China. Who's selling to them? I mean, it just makes you wonder, and it's just too difficult to hold risk. To manage risk for my liking, Sean.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was able to take Alibaba off that 70 level, get some out on this move upside right now. So that was definitely a good way. And I'm with you. Forget about it. Anytime it's too easy to manipulate, right? They could come out tomorrow with an $8 trillion Chinese stimulus. I don't know what that means. I don't know. So I'm going to stay away from that one.
Everyone does, yeah.
Yeah, is that yuan? I don't know what it is. All right, so there it goes now. Bitcoin. I want to talk about this a little bit because our audience very excited about IBIT today. Turning in, you can now trade it's option eligible. So there's that a bit availability today. And oh boy, did we see a good run there intraday before a little bit of a fade coming through. It seems like every time we get new all-time highs, which I think we had today in Bitcoin up around that 94,000, that it just pulls back a little bit, gets that juice going, gets that blood flowing, and then right back there, right back up to the upside. I made a prediction that I think we talk about 100,000 at the Thanksgiving table, which of course will be next Thursday. So I'm giving it a week to move up 7%. Is that crazy? I mean, 94 up to 100. Can we get there by Thanksgiving? Are we going to be having turkey and talking about BTC?
We've got this pattern of higher highs and higher lows. I think as long as we hold the, the recent pullback around 89,000, as long as that maintains a higher low, and I don't have that on the screen.
Okay, I have it right here.
I think that yes, 100,000 on Bitcoin just seems inevitable. It seems like there's a giant magnet up there pulling it towards that number.
Yeah, I mean, that bottom, I have it up right here, 87,000. I mean, people asked me today, Brian, you could just keep it on this, Ramin, if you want. They were saying, where are we buying this pullback, right? And I thought maybe back into 87, where we've seen some past support there right now. I know you have IBIT up and not Bitcoin. So is there a level maybe on IBIT? Can we drop some anchors anywhere? Is there anything that you're looking at right now with IBIT? A nice fall in at the end of the day.
Sure. What I've been looking for in there, and I've maintained that I've held a 20% position in Bitcoin, and it's not enough because I sold some down at in the low 80s. But I'm holding 20% just as something to hold. Where I currently have bids, Sean, are in these zones right here, the month-to-date anchor and the anchor from the election. So in terms of Bitcoin, that's at about 85,000. Okay. If we get a quick flush down in towards 85,000, I will get a fill on some. It'll basically double my position, and then I have orders staggered below as well. I'm hoping that, and now that we have options, maybe it isn't going to be the good old Wild West days where we get those sometimes overnight, 10, 15% pullbacks that scare the crap out of everyone. And I used to, I love to buy into those. So I have orders staggered lower, hoping that maybe we get some of those, but it seems less likely.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are great levels there. So we'll look for 85 and a little bit lower there. But yeah, maybe options has solidified the space again for Bitcoin. And yeah, very, very interesting. I was just thinking, like, if we start piling into IBIT and everyone starts buying these calls, iShares and all these other are going to have to go in now and start buying to cover those, because so I was just thinking that Bitcoin starts running up just because everyone panics, everyone's hitting that call button, similar to what we've seen with GameStop and all that stuff. But I guess Bitcoin's a little bit of a bigger beast.
Hopefully that's the case. It's always more fun when they just go straight up. But my only issue from a greedy standpoint is I sold too much too soon. Right. And I'm looking for a pullback to steal some from somebody who panics overnight.
Damn you, Brian, being so responsible. That's never a good thing, right? You never want to do that. Hey, look, we do that all the time on the show. I'll look back and be like, what? Okay, so quickly, we did get a good question. First of all, someone's telling me in the chat that it was your birthday not too long ago. If so, happy belated birthday from everybody here at Trader TV Live. So a big happy birthday to Brian. So we'll get that out of the way right there. All right, and we got a super chat from Rohit. I know that we're going to go over some ideas that maybe you have as well. We've talked about this a little bit. I think there's a lot of traders that got really excited about this new rate environment, and the one ETF and the one space that everyone wants to talk about, Brian, is IWM. So I'll give you a second maybe to load that up if you have it. And it's just, we broke out. I mean, I'm just looking at the daily there. It was a great move through this 225 area. It had its sort of day in the sun, and then just like everything, I mean, here's kind of that election bump that happens right there from November all the way up to 240, giving us sort of that false sense that, oh man, now we have someone new. Maybe the market just continues to rally up, but now it's pulling back. I like pullbacks into past resistance. Is this turning into support? Can we buy this around 225?
Technical analysis 101 tells you resistance, once broken, tends to act as support. And that's exactly where we are. This 227 level has been resistance, all summer. We broke above it on that gap. Now we've pulled back perfectly to it. You have that red 20-day moving average right in there as well. So that's technical analysis 101. If you want to be a buyer, hoping that this support holds, I think that it's a good low-risk place to do it. If you look to the right side of the chart, what keeps me a little bit hesitant here, Sean, is the catalyst that caused that gap, of course, was the election. And when we take an anchor from the election, you can see the average price is about 235. So since the election, the average long is down about 5 points. Doesn't mean the people who bought today are, of course, but with the declining 5-day moving average, I've already sketched this out earlier today. This is what I'm hoping for, is maybe we run up a little bit, pull back, get that 5-day moving average to flatten out, and in a day or two, we have what appears to me to be a lower risk, higher probability trade because we will have the near-term momentum turn back up with a series of higher highs and higher lows, and then I can set my stop underneath one of these higher lows. The risk for me waiting is maybe this thing just gaps up and continues to run here over the next couple days. That's a risk I'm willing to take, but that's part of the process of being disciplined.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at something like that. I've been looking at, unfortunately, XBI and some of this. And again, it's kind of the opposite of what we just talked about with the Trump bump. Again, this is RFK coming through. Some of these names have been hit to the downside with vaccine talk and sort of science and whatnot. And not to get too political, but this moves back down into $90. Is this worth averaging into XBI? I mean, we've got some bad news. If you come over to the screen here, ABV, which is a holder, which is a big part of that ETF, that's missed to the downside. So ABV there on a trial for the schizophrenia drug downside. And then, of course, we have Eli Lilly with pricing worries coming in as well. And then just what is Ozempic all about? Why is it so expensive? Our competitors coming into the space. So tell me about XBI a little bit, or if there is maybe, there's also IBB, but any of these names, it feels like a falling knife. I like the space. I've recently averaged into this XBI, but I don't think I want to do it anymore. Maybe we just need to prove ourselves and get back above that $100 mark.
I'm with you on that part, Sean. I mean, we've spoken about XBI numerous times, and we were looking. I was excited about breaking this resistance. We had these higher lows. We were above the 20, 31, 42-week moving average. It looked like we were heading inevitably for a test of the 120 level from here back in 2021. However, we got news, and that. We've just gotten annihilated since then. We cut through the 200-day moving average, the year-to-date anchor. To me, it's just another one of those ones that, similar to not buying right here as we tested this support, in the Russell 2000. I don't want to be a buyer here until we see some firming up on the shorter term time frame. So with the biotechs, we're still kind of in free fall, just starting to stabilize. To me, it's toxic. I'd rather just focus on things where the trend is solidly higher, buy in low risk points.
All right, Brian, time flies like absolutely crazy. Oh, before, I'm going to let you go over an idea. If there's any sort of something that you want to talk about, let's do that immediately, because right now I got to make sure that everybody picks this up. Maximum trading gains with an anchored view up. Everything that Brian's been talking about here today is well summarized, honestly, in this book. What a great read. One of the biggest books for our trading floor right here. And of course, we're on a prop floor. I know you've traded prop before, and I think that you're always looking for that edge. So everybody try to pick this up right now at Alpha Trends. You can find some of the details there below. Okay, we just talked about a couple things that you didn't really like. Is there anything right now that maybe you do like, including maybe something in the coffee space?
Bros, sure. Did you just see my screen? I was looking at Bros. I had purchased Bros just today, Sean, at 48.5, and I've got 2/3 of that position left. So Bros is on its way. It's got a pattern, that looks like a lot of stocks right now. So you can look at other names, and I'm not going to give any specifics on these right now, but Upstart kind of looks the same. Lemonade has been a big run, and it broke from a similar type of pattern. BILL is another one that's just starting this little consolidation. MGNI. These are all names that are looking like they're just getting ready to get to go here. EXFY, this is one probably most people haven't heard of. I just found it the other day. Great looking longer term base. This is, going back a year and a half. It just broke some key resistance. So for a $2 stock, 277, this one looks buyable with a stop under here. Below 260, then forget about it. But it looks like maybe this could be a nice little percentage runner to keep your eye on.
So when you're saying that these are all looking like they're breaking out, to me they all look like they've almost sort of already broken out. But I guess when you zoom back out to a longer base, a longer time frame, is that what we're talking about? They've all built a base, and now they're trying to take out, what is it, 52-week highs you look for, or does that not really matter? You're just looking for it to take out a past resistance level.
Well, we spoke about a couple of weeks ago about Palantir and how Palantir, when we spoke about it, we were talking about I want to find the stocks that look like this, that are just breaking, Palantir breaking past $12 per
Got it.
share. So when I talk about breakouts there, this is what I'm talking about. If they didn't scare you out on the way down, they should have warned you out. And now
Right.
the buyers are back in control. We're back above the anchor from this breakdown, and it's just looking like it's ready to continue that movement higher again, just like Bros does on the weekly time frame. That one has room to run. I mean, I've got a handful of these stocks that just really look like they're getting ready to get going. WWW, Bill,
Yep.
MGNI. The list goes
I
on
see,
and
yeah.
on. And look at that one, MGNI.
That looks the best to me right there.
Yeah. And I don't even know what this one is, OLO,
Same.
but there's a great looking base as well that's getting going. But this MGNI, you have to look at the shorter term time frame and say, is it ready here? Did it just start moving today? I'd like to see an MGNI, maybe a little bit of a pullback and then continue to get going. But it seems like it's on its way. Worst case risk at this point is below the pullback from 2 days ago right here. There's just a lot of these names out there that give me hope that yes, in fact, the SPY and the Qs are going to hold these key breakout levels and be able to continue to move higher.
Come on, man. You didn't know that Magnite is digital advertising solutions? I mean, come on.
Although I don't know what that one is.
Yeah, I have no idea. All right, great. Thank you so much, Brian. I mean, a couple great ideas there. I like when we zoom back out, we can find that. I mean, it's a perfect example there that you showed Palantir and what can happen when the stock gets it right. And I'm going to probably use that. I'll give you credit. If they don't scare you out, they will wear you out. I absolutely love that. That is fantastic. Okay, I mean, I see you're still looking around. I think all those examples were fantastic. I know there's people in our chat now writing it down. I got winter baseball training, man, tonight, so I got to fly out of here. I want to thank you for joining us one more time. Was there anything at all you wanted to say? I mean, I want everyone to go to Alpha Trends. I want them to grab this book. Anything that you're doing. I know you have that subscriber Twitter feed as well that people can become part of, where you share such amazing little charts like this and some ideas. So why don't we talk about that for a couple seconds?
Sure. I mean, it's $10 a month. It's a basic membership to Alpha Trends. Basically, I give daily analysis of the ETFs after the close, midday as well, and throw in some trade ideas there with the reasons laid out clearly. So just kind of like what we're talking about here, but instead of once a month, it's instead of once a week like this show, I get the opportunity to kind of take you through a trade step by step.
Sounds like a great deal there for 50 cents at trading day. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So it's Brian Shannon, the best smile in the game. We like it. The best CMT. He's with us every single week and with you guys every single day. Go find Brian Shannon. Thank you so much for joining us one more time, and best of luck. And we'll talk next week, and we'll see what's going on with Nvidia.
Sounds good. All right,
Thanks,
John.
Ciao.
Take care, everyone.
All right, man. I've already talked about Bitcoin hitting. I just see in the chat there. I think Bitcoin hits it on Thanksgiving. We could even hit it tomorrow. I mean, I just saw someone in the chat say that. The 100,000 to me is just a mental area, psychological level there. Who's calling me? Oh, okay. We'll answer that after one of my kids. All right. So thank you so much for, again, joining us every single day here on the Market Recap Show. It's been such a great run for us, and it's not going to end. And tomorrow's even bigger because we're going to have Snowflake. We're going to have Nvidia live on the show. So do not go anywhere. Make sure you just hit that like, hit that subscribe. Make sure you get notified, because every single time you're looking for those earnings plays, you're going to want to come right here. Live level 2 action, live analysis right on the spot. So tomorrow's a big one, man. It's Nvidia day, and it will be all over that. So make sure you do join us. Thank you to our big guest there, Brian. I mean, every single week this man comes on and just to give some great ideas at MGNI, a couple of the other names right there. We'll definitely have a look at those. Thank you to everybody that super chatted today. Thank you to Bears vs. Bulls for throwing me. Thank you to Rohit for throwing me some of those questions as well. Look, it's been a great day. Thanks, Ramin, for staying late with us, and everybody who's here still. Thanks, Neil, for a great show. Great to have him back. Sharif, Joe, we have Satya on tomorrow, I believe he said. So look, it's going to be a great one. I'm excited. I got baseball now, as you just heard. We're going to go train up these girls, get them all excited. Winter baseball, nothing better. If Adara was here, she'd ask me if it was indoors, and yes, it's indoors. So that should be a lot of fun there. A lot of waves in the chat, because we got to do it quickly. It's roll call. We got to get out of here. Man, we're 7 minutes over. This is going to cost me probably a lack of I don't know. We'll see. It's already Starbucks day tomorrow, so hopefully Ramin will be fine. All right, everybody that waved real quickly. What's up, Andrew? What's up, Rahal? What's up, Blue Arrow? Blaze Wave again. Andrew again. Daniel's here. Anybody that's waving is getting it today. What's up, Bears versus Bulls? What's up with this guy? I like this. Is that a stop right there? What's up, Muay Casado? I like that one right there. Game over. You get another one. Oh, Penguin Dynasty. There's penguins, little emoji things. I like that one. That's cute. What's up, Corey? What's up, Jacoby Waters? Crabstock is here as well. 100 miles per hour. All right, I mean, that's as long as it's down the middle, maybe hittable right there. Shout out to all my baseball fans as well. SRMR is here. Sir Golf something. What's up? Jacoby's there again. Anybody waving? Roa says, what's up? Frank is there. Pitchbull's here. DJ Freddy's here. Gustavo. Bora Hout. Donkey Trader. Hey, we'll look at some Donkey Kong tomorrow. We haven't looked in DraftKings in a while. Ran this as well coming through there, and that's enough. Thank you to Juan and everybody else. Look, what a great day. I've already said thank you to everybody, so that's it. Let's wrap this thing up. From everybody here at Trader TV, I'm Trader TV Sean, and I'm the only one here with Ramin. So we'll catch you tomorrow when we have everybody at 8:30. Ciao.